Hey, 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 it's a brand new day here on Gillen Farms, and I'm Johnny. And for the six folks who are here, this is another one of the YouTube tutorial. I've been asked about that. I've been asked by some people if I could go in and talk about some things about YouTube and what works, what doesn't work, and things like that. And that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to say hello to the few people that are here right now, and then we will get into that. I know it's not for everybody because not everybody's interested in that, but it is what it is, and we're going to do it. So, hey, Joe, fix it for you. He is here, and there's Palmetto Paratrooper. We've got Rebecca, Touched by Yarn, Troy Sutton. Howdy, howdy. We have Nana 9 Acres. Hello, Nana. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Marianne Bimler. Hello, Johnny. How are you? I am fine, Marianne. How are you doing? And then let's see. There is Jesse with Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa. So, all right. That was quick. Got that right out of the way. All right. Now, what this is going to be, it's going to be kind of like it's Chilling with the Gillen. Hi, Lord. So what this is going to kind of be, it's going to kind of be like, if you're new to YouTube, or if you're not new to YouTube and you're wondering what works, what doesn't work, how to go about doing things that have to do with YouTube, whether you want to know about StreamYard, you want to know about thumbnails, you want to know about, I'm going to give you a good one. You really need to know about TubeBuddy or one of the other analytics programs that's out there, because how do you know how you're doing unless you can actually see your analytics, if you can see what's actually going on. So we've got, since I've said hello to those folks, there's Amy at Leonard Mountain Homestead. We have Lisa at Jesse's Girl, Lazy Days Ahead. And yes, and Christine is actually in bed. So she is not feeling well this evening. Prayers for Christine. This weather, just up and down and sideways and everything. We've had major storms for it seems like every day. I guess I can get another thing out of the way. You probably saw the thumbnail and you saw a cow on there. Well, that's our newest heifer. We do not have a name for that one yet, but we have a new heifer. We purchased her. Actually, we purchased her yesterday. I actually went to the vet. They brought her to the vet. We went to the vet. We had her preg tested. We had her checked out, make sure everything was good. And then since everything was good with her, we went ahead and made the investment and bought her. And when you buy a cow, it's an investment. It's an investment if you want to buy one. So we've got that one, and that's our newest, and we expect a lot of good years out of that cow. She is they showed me a scale thing for 1,280 pounds. I keep thinking 1,100, but that's just me. All right. So there's Jennifer Ocean Homestead. We got Brian in the house saying congratulations on the purchase of the heifer. And let's see here. We got, I hope I said hello to Lori Carp. Want to make sure I got everybody here. I want some Dexters. Palmetto Paratrooper, you want some Dexters. Fair enough. Cora Phelps. Howdy, Cora. Good to see you. Are we talking about Jennifer Sparkles? Well, I think we named two of the pheasants. One of them is Jennifer and one of them is Sparkles. So, anyway, what I want to do is, Amy, you brought this up, and some other people brought this up. Questions about YouTube. So I can give you analytics, all kinds of analytics. I can give you ideas of what it takes in order to reach goals. I mean, I've been working at this for quite some time. I think I've finally broken through to the other side, I guess you would call it. I can show you analytics. I can show you comparisons. I can show you all kinds of stuff like that. If he can answer them, he will help. Yes, I will. Hey, James Erickson, how are you doing? James from Minnesota Logger. All right. I guess I'm chopped liver now. You missed one live stream. I didn't miss you. You missed one live stream. Where'd I miss you at, Nanny Tam? I'm going to have to go back up. There you are. Sorry about that, Nanny Tam. I could never miss Nanny Tam. She is on it with everything. I mean, she's always. Pheasants, close enough. There you go. There you go. So anyway, so if you have any questions, let's talk about them. I can put in the link in the chat if you want to come up and you want to actually, discuss it one-on-one with me. That's fine. If you have, hey, Melvin Wheat, how are you doing? Good to see you. If you have any questions like that you would like to ask me in person, I'll put you up on the screen. We can talk, and we can go ahead and if I don't know the answer, maybe somebody in the chat knows the answer, and then we can go to them and we can get the answer from them. But my goal is everybody to be doing well. James, those are the newest heifer that was on the thumbnail. That's a Gavelby. Okay, that's a Gavelby heifer. She's registered. The rest of our cattle are Brangus, Brahman and Angus cross. So she's going to be a Gavelby Brangus cross whenever, after. But she is bred, and since she's bred, that means I have another shot at having another heifer out of her that I can actually put with my bull Danny. So maybe a win. And if it's a steer or if it's a bull calf, we'll sell it. We'll buy another heifer. So we've got Paul Case Farms is in the house. Paul Case doing ASMR now. So I'm seeing that more and more often. Anyway, so I'm gonna throw the actual link in the chat for anybody who wants to come up and talk to me about this. I do have this on subscriber mode. So if you are a subscriber, you can chat. But if I do not know you, I cannot. That's good to know, Paul Case, because I find that my videos do better if I don't talk. So a lot of people had questions about why their views went down. Some had questions still about hashtags in shorts and long form. Okay. Questions about why their views went down. It's not nefarious, okay? If your views go down, it's not because YouTube has just decided to pick on you for one reason or another and just kill your views. That's not what it's about. It's all about an algorithm. So if your views go down, it's because something has changed with your what you're doing. I'll give you an example. I've got an auction video I put out. Well, when was it? It came out yesterday. Okay. It has not performed as well as like an auction video I put out last Friday or the Friday, or the Friday before. Same types of stuff, everything like that. It's just not performed the same. Therefore, what I'm looking at on that one is the thumbnail. I think the thumbnail is actually the bite on that one. So that's my fault. That's not YouTube's fault. That's not the algorithm's fault or anything like that. It's not grabby enough. Okay. and I can change the thumbnail. But you know what they say about you have one chance to make a first impression. That's pretty much your thumbnail needs to be really good the first rattle out of the box. And if it's not the best since you've been lackluster whenever with your views and stuff like that, just because you change your thumbnail doesn't mean it's just going to ramp. Because YouTube has been watching how much time and how many views, how much time it's been out and how many views you have in that amount of time. So they're not just going to go, oh, well, let's do this and run it. So you have to look inward and you have to look at your content. You have to look at why it's not getting, why YouTube is not wanting to push that. And it's based on how quickly you can get views and how long people stay in your video. If they don't stay in your video, you know, if the first few people don't stay in your video, YouTube's not going to push it. So it's got to be going, you know, it's got to roll right off the bat. Worst thing you can do is click on your own video and then not watch your own video. I mean, you need to be I'm the first viewer of my video. And I watch it all the way through and let the commercials run and everything like that. But I do it well before anybody else sees it. I do it because my videos come out at a set time. Well, I can watch the video, you know, hours before that on YouTube. And so that's what I've got going on. Hey, there's Eddie Family Farm. How are you doing? To figure out which one works best. If you will attempt to do this, they will open up more views for your channel. There you go. Eddie Family Farm. They know a lot about this YouTube stuff. But I'm catching up, Eddie Family. So so let's see here. School's out to John do first week of summer vacation for a lot of folks. It is first week of summer vacation. But I think what we were talking about was, I think the views were going down before that, because at the same time the views were going down for the people that Amy was talking about, the views for my videos were actually going up. So there is that. Eddie Family Farm, Brandon, do you agree that you have a first chance to make you have a chance, a one-time chance to make a first impression with a thumbnail? After editing that, the last thing I want to do is hear my own voice again, says Bowen. So let's see here. Let me see. Did I ever put the link up? I'm gonna put, if I haven't, there it is. Sorry about that. Maybe I never did put it up. I don't know. Hey, there's Josh. Rivers to Roots Outdoors. Yes, I do agree with that. Yep, you have to make a good first impression with that thumbnail. I'm thinking if something doesn't work rapido on these videos and stuff like that, if it doesn't work quickly and your views are lackluster and people are clicking off for whatever reason, then YouTube is not going to push that video. And I think I've talked to you about this before, Brandon. You know, making sure that we can keep people on, you know, you can keep people on a video for, you know, more than, on average, throughout your entire video, more than 8 minutes. Right now, I'm on a 40-minute video while I'm keeping people 17, 18 minutes. And that would be 20, 30, some odd thousand views or something like that. So, yep, Jesse, video thumbnails let your audience view a quick snapshot of your video. Hey, there's Paul Honeyman. The reason why I can say that Jose's is actually world famous is Paul Honeyman, because I don't have a ton of folks across the pond that watch the channel, but I do have Paul. He watches. So I'll put the link every once in a while in here. You just have to look for it in the chat. And if you want to come up, we can discuss. You can have questions or whatever you would like to put. Now, as far as hashtags, about how many tags do you think is best for your video when you're editing? All right. Whenever you're talking about hashtags, you have 5,000. Let's see, 500. You have 500 characters you can use, and I think it's 500. But I'm going to tell you, use them all. Use every one of them. You want your SEO score to be 100. So the SEO score, you're trying to get the SEO score up. So I always fill that dude up. Gun is late now, only 30. Let's see here. I used to use as many as Apple and had a bunch of videos associated with them already, preferably simple one-word hashtags. You do not want to have an intro on videos at all. The first 30 seconds of your video is the most important. If you can keep them 30 seconds, YouTube is going to open the door to more viewers. There you go. There you go. That's the reason why I rarely ever run an intro. And whenever I do run an intro, it'd be like here on this, because I'm just trying to get ready for live, because lives aren't a moneymaker for Gillin Farms, and I don't care about that. So but on the videos, if I ever run any kind of an intro, it's very short, and it's only after there are grabbers. So I will put 2 or 3 grabber scenes in there first, and then there's an intro. That's the only time I ever use an intro anymore. You got to have grabbers first. So my only thumbnail would say, please do not subscribe to this grumpy old channel. I'm not a creator. Yeah, that's right. So, hey, Kevin, how are you doing? Hiking with Jack and Boys in here. So, Brandon, if you want to come up, you're more than welcome to come up, and we can talk about this all you'd like. Or anyone else for that matter. Howdy, Karen. How are you doing? So let's talk about, search engine optimization. Does everybody know what search engine optimization is? Hey, Bobby, how are you doing? So you're trying to get your SEO score up, which is search engine optimization, on your videos. So what you do, and you'll have people contact you and everything else. It's those folks with, weird names and stuff like that. We'll send you a message saying, I can help you with your SEO score. Well, you can help yourself with your SEO score. It's really super easy. Yeah, it don't matter how big you are. Lives, you're not going to make any money. I just enjoy spending time with our loyal subscribers. I would, but I'm taking care of chores and listening. All right, that's all right. I got you. I understand that. I agree with the grabbers. Always had the first 34 seconds be something that lets the viewer know what they're getting into. That's right. So SEO is a critical part of all social media money making. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get it to where you have the search engine can actually find your channel. I always, they can find your videos. They can find, like, when people are looking, whenever they're searching, whenever they're typing in something into YouTube, whenever they're doing all that stuff, you actually show up somewhere and people can actually view your video. And if your video is good enough at the very beginning, then they will hang on and they will continue to watch and things like that. And then you start getting people that will stay on there long enough for it to actually become profitable. And by profitable, some people make their living off of YouTube. Some people do very, very, very well off of YouTube. We're at the point now, the Gillin Farms is at the point now to where I will be, this is no secret, I will be eligible for Social Security at 62. I'm not 62 yet, guys. I'm not. I know I look it, but I'm not. So whenever I am eligible for Social Security, I can actually make more money on YouTube. So I'm not going to take my Social Security. I'm going to let it ride. I'm going to let it continue on until I can no longer do YouTube again. And then I will take Social Security. If you take Social Security too early, if you take it at 62, which is considered early retirement, then you can only make like around $13,000 a year before they start reducing the amount of Social Security you get, by, almost dollar for dollar by what you make more on, outside of Social Security. Let's just put it that way, from a job, from working, etc. And this is considered working. So YouTube is considered a job. And so at this point, I can waive my Social Security and I can actually just do YouTube, and my Social Security will be better once I actually do take it at 65, 66, 67, whenever that happens to be, whenever I can no longer do the things that I do now. Let's just put it that way. So, all right. I don't know how far you looked into SEO. There are things called buckets that people get put into. That's why you get more of what you already watched and not as much material outside of that. Well, I call it universes, and universes, planets, solar systems, and things like that. The way I look at YouTube is it's like space. Okay. Whoa, space. All right. So you're out there in space. There's a lot of room in between stuff. But what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to get to a point to where you want to get to the solar system that kind of likes the things that you do, instead of the solar system over here that, really doesn't care about the things that you do. Let's just put it that way. So you put out a video, and this is why whenever you start a new channel, if you put out a video, YouTube will move you slightly towards something. Okay. You put out another video, it'll move you maybe slightly more towards something. If your videos are consistent and they are geared towards something, they will move toward something, let's say a little solar system. They'll move toward a solar system or a planet full of folks, whatever you want to call it. They'll move over there to where those folks actually like what you do. Okay. But then you can put out a video that's totally 180 degrees from what you normally put out. And then YouTube goes, oh, wait a minute. And they move you like this. So they're actually moving you not closer to your planet, solar system, etc., where you want to be. They move you kind of somewhere else. Let's just put it that way. So if Thanksgiving coming up on panel last night, you're always welcome. Yep. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be there, Lauren, last night. I wanted to be, but I had to hash out a bunch of stuff that had to do with our cruise that we're going to go on. So let me see here. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that link again in case anybody wants to come up and we want to discuss this. But anyway, all right. So if you're one of those channels who puts out just all kinds of random stuff, you're like this out there. Just saying. And I'm horrible about doing that because I like to do certain types of videos. There are certain videos that I really like to do. And then there are videos that my channel likes me to do. All right. So if my channel likes me to do auction videos, I put out an auction video every Friday. Everybody knows that. And so thank you, Lauren. So if I put out one every Friday, I do something called a Tuesday, Wednesday video. It's kind of my own little thing. It's like something I like to do, and I'll put out something else. And I know I'm not going to get any views, and I know it's just going to be one of those things that a few people watch and stuff like that. But those are the videos that the people, I guess, that are actually, I hate this word, all right? And you guys know it. I hate the word fans, all right? I really don't like that word, because we're all the same. We're all just folks, all right? But there are some people who get into this fandom thing, all right? So that's the time. Those videos that I put out on Tuesday and Wednesday are my, like, for some people who like the auction videos, they might be like paint drying to them. But the other folks that I, have, they will watch them. Let's just put it that way. They will watch those videos. They'll watch them from beginning to end. They'll comment and tell me what happened, at the 42-minute mark, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what happens on Tuesday, Wednesday. All right. And I call those Tuesday, Wednesday videos. It'd be stuff like my drag racing. All right. I love the way my drag racing, I love the drag racing videos. If I could rebuild my channel, I'd probably just do drag racing all the time. That's all I would do, is just, you'd see me at the drag races, because I love to do it. I love to make those type of videos. I love to just kind of, how you say it? I love to not talk in videos. I really hate talking. I love to not talk in videos. I like to just do camera angles and moving the car around different ways and different shots, and, put the cameras all over the car and do this, that, and the other and everything else. That's the kind of stuff I like to do. And, I wish that was the way that the channel is geared, but it's not really geared that way. So I've already gone to a different universe, or not a different universe, a different solar system with my channel. And since I'm in a different solar system, I've got to, me and the folks in the solar system will just hang out. I guess you'd say. Today, I went to an auction today. Here's how it is, guys. I went to an auction today, and I had a guy pull up beside me on a side-by-side, okay? He opens the door on a side-by-side, and the first thing out of his mouth is, "Johnny, did you find a magazine for your rifle?" I don't know this guy from Adam. I mean, I don't know him at all. So I'm like, my 22 Magnum that I bought at auction? Yes. No, I don't. He goes, "Well, I've got one. I've got extras." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool. You got it with you?" No, he's got it. He lives not far from here. He gave me his number. He said I could have it. Just contact him, and we'll meet up somewhere or something, and he'll give it to me for my, yes, views are where the money is. That's the whole thing right there. That truly successful channels, views are where the money is. That's it. Bottom line, that whole thing, the whole paragraph. The most important thing is that the views are where the money is. So anyway, but so I'm like, "Oh, well, cool," that's, to me, that's a little different. I'm not used to that. And then all day long, I had people coming up to me saying, "Hey, Johnny, this and Johnny that and Johnny," and I didn't know anybody. I probably met at least 9 new folks today. Some of them, one of them was from Pennsylvania, one was from California, and the rest were, I guess, from around northeast Oklahoma somewhere. And I bought some shelving today, and I was trying to put it on the back of my truck, and I had 2 guys come running up. "Hey, Johnny, I'll help you. Watch your channel all the time," and stuff like that. That's cool, and it's different. It's different for me for sure. So just saying, it happens. If Jesse and them and Brian's still in the chat at all, they've been with me when that kind of stuff has happened. So anyway, and I know Brandon has it happen all the time, I am sure. I was at an auction a couple of days ago, and I think Cassie from family, what is it, Walker Farm Fam, was at the auction, and people knew who she was. As I saw them, say, talk to her and her son and stuff like that. So yeah, it happens. But anyway, so does anybody have any specific questions? That's what I would like to get into. I'd like to get into the meat and potatoes of YouTube, and we could actually talk about this and see what, see if there's any help for, this. There's 29 folks in here. I knew it wouldn't be a big night for YouTube for me. If my wife was here, we'd have a lot more people, and we'd be just, giggling and going on and stuff like that. But I'm actually trying to get into the teaching part of it. So does anybody know how about the thumbnails? Easiest way to make them, key points of them. All right. What I'm going to tell you is, if you do not have Canva or some other program to create thumbnails, you need to get it. You need to have a program, some kind of a program, an art program or something that you can actually make a high resolution thumbnail for your video. Your thumbnail and the title of your video with the actual photo, the actual whatever you make, the artwork is the most important thing. All right. Then the title of your video is the next most important thing. So Amy uses Canva and CapCut to edit videos. And what size should a thumbnail be? Well, a thumbnail is, what is it, 1280? Don't get me to going. I go to Canva, I go to thumbnail, to make a YouTube thumbnail. It's like 1280. I can't remember what the number is. I try to use a 16:9 aspect ratio. It's the most used in YouTube players and videos and previews. See, Canva actually does that for you. So that's my YouTube recommendation. Have a resolution 1280 by 720 with a minimum width of 640 pixels. Yep, that's right. Remain under 2 megabytes. That's correct. If you're ever over 2 megabytes, you're going to learn about it real quick, because it's not going to fly. Making home big enough for your thumb. LOL. The thing is, and I'm horrible about this myself. This is I know how to do it, but I'm going to tell you, I don't always do it. Let's just put it that way. You want to, I've got somebody in the basement, but I'm going to make this point real quick. So And whenever I put up a thumbnail, try not to put your wording, your titling too high in the thumbnail. Try not to put it too low, and try not to put it too close to the edges, because whenever you're looking at it in certain formats, it gets cut off, either half, part, quarter, etc., etc. So that's what we're going to try not to do. Now, like I said, I know how to do it, but sometimes I make a title that is just too much for that, and I end up getting it too close to the edges. Let's just put it that way. And never where the timestamp is. Right. So I saw Amy said, can we all send prayers to Jack Dyer and family? His stepdad passed away. Prayers for Jack's stepdad. And well, actually prayers for his family. Stepdad has passed. So we're sending prayers for them. So, all right. I'm going to bring someone up, and Janae, nod to me here. I can't see. All I can see is, do you have questions about YouTube? Yes? Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. That's what I'm bringing people up for. So what do you got, Janae?
Yeah, I have a questions. Hey, y'all, about the when you post shorts.
Mm-hmm.
They have an area where you have to insert tag. Um, like you can put tags in there under the description. Also as well, your name gets highlighted. You can put the little ad, and your name gets highlighted.
Right.
How? What's your best advice to do, like the shorts and all that?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now. I put out a short just before this. I put this up. Um, it's gotten 3,000 views so far, and I put it out right before we went live. So the way shorts go for me is I put up shorts that have in the title itself. It's the title. You use the best thumbnail that you can get out of that whole that scene. Make your short. 15 seconds is my average for a short. Sometimes I'll make it 12 seconds, 12 to 15 seconds. All right. If I make something that's 20 seconds long, it's got to be crazy good. And I mean, crazy good. If it's 30 seconds long, it better be the best thing that I've ever done. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to get a view rate on that of more than 120% on that short. So if you're looking at your shorts and your shorts are getting 80% view rate, you need to shorten them. You need to do something different, because 80% view rate is going to really kill your short. You have to get more than 100% is them watching fully through the short.
Yeah.
120% is them watching more than 100% of the short.
Mm-hmm.
So that's them starting it over and starting to watch it again. And that's what you want to do. I
Now, do
can
you,
tell you,
mm-hmm.
go ahead. So hashtags for
Hashtag.
me on
Okay.
that are
Suggest I use the hashtags in the area of the description.
nope. I never
Okay.
put anything in the description
Oh.
ever.
Oh.
Everything that I put in, and I mean, I don't know that it's going to work for everybody,
Uh
but
huh.
I put every hashtag in the title of a short. So I have, what is it, 200 characters I can use in a title on a short.
Mm-hmm.
or 100. I don't know what it is. I can't remember, but it's 200. That's right. I will do every one of them in the title of a short. I will put every hashtag in there. And I have hashtags that I use for almost every short. And it actually will, the shorts do well. I mean, the shorts will rock it, and they will
Mm-hmm.
go, and they will bring a lot of subscribers and things like that. And that's, if you're trying to build your subscriber base, that shorts will bring a lot of subscribers. Now,
In the
the other
vertical,
thing
it's in
is,
vertical mode, right?
huh?
Because it's in the vertical mode. Is that?
I'm not going to say it's because it's in vertical mode. It's because we have a TikTok generation, and we have a whole bunch of people that's all they're going to watch. The problem is whenever you do a lot of shorts, is you're going to end up with a short channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost got caught in being a short channel because I have some shorts that have 2 million, 2.5 million views. Hi, Lori.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a few people in here. MT Homestead. We got, a few people have popped in. There's Musgrave Family. Welcome, welcome. So
Hey,
whenever
y'all.
whenever
Hey,
you
Sir Greg.
end up having, and I can, a lot of people in the past, they wondered how our
Mm-hmm.
channel grew so fast. Our channel grew fast because we had 2 shorts with Danny in them and a short with a rattlesnake in it, and they just rocketed. We had 3 shorts at one time that were getting millions of views
Mm-hmm.
all at the same time. Okay. And so whenever that happened, every day it was like I had people call me and they say, how do you pick up 200 subscribers a day every day?
That's awesome.
And I said, well, it's
You put.
not nefarious or anything like that. It's because of views.
Uh-huh.
It's
And you
views
put nothing
on
in the
short.
description, right? You just left the description, just nothing in the description.
I've never had anything in the description. So um, I make a good. I pick the best scene of the short.
Mm-hmm.
The short's got to be short. I use the hashtags, and I've got a set of hashtags that I use for almost every. If it's car related, I've got a set that I use for the car. If it's related to the cattle, I've got a set that I use for the cattle, and it's the same hashtags. And those hashtags rock. Let's just put it that way. So
So you're doing the hashtags then. You suggest to leave the hashtags but no description then.
right, that's exactly right. So I'm putting those is
Mm-hmm.
actually in the title itself.
Oh.
The other thing is make sure that you put, you put it, you relate that video
Mm-hmm.
to where it's supposed to be. Like you're going to see people in blogs, you're going to see entertainment. There's all these things that where you can put your video. You want your video to actually have, like if I got Danny in the cattle in there, it's got to be under pets and animals. If I've got anything to do with automobiles, it's going to be automobiles, vehicles and automobiles. So that is my secret for shorts. Now, most all shorts on my channel will get, you know, if one only gets 4,000 views, it's not a very good short. The shorts you generally get in the 20 plus thousand range on the shorts. Um, and then the um, videos themselves, the videos have really taken off, and I'm proud of, and I'm happy with that. Hey, Wanda, how are you doing? I'm really happy with the actual videos because the videos themselves have brought their own bunch of subscribers with them.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've got folks who will watch videos and not just shorts, because you can get caught up in being a short channel where the only people that'll watch your stuff, you'll have shorts that get 1 million views, but you'll have videos that get 100 views.
Okay, so with your shorts and your regular videos, you suggest to put the hashtag in the title itself? Is that what you're saying?
Not in the regular videos. In
Oh,
the
okay.
shorts, I do.
Oh, all right.
The hashtags are in the title on the shorts. On the videos, there's a place whenever you're making a video to put all your, you can put all that stuff. I fill that thing up. I think it's 500 characters or something like that. I fill
Mm-hmm.
that dude completely up.
Oh, all
The
right.
SEO, if my SEO score is not 100 on a video, I've done something wrong. So I'm looking for an SEO score of 100 for every single video.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Kristen, how are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of it. Now we can get into we can actually get into analytics. We can actually get into comparison mode. We can get into how long somebody stays on your video, how you keep them in your video, how you can um, you know how do you rate, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been really eye-opening for me,
Yeah.
because a lot of the things that I thought in the past have not come to be real world. Let's just put it that way. So, Mike, I guess you're at home and Terry is down at over at Jan's, I'm assuming, or maybe Terry's back home now. I don't know. So that's the next thing. Does anybody have any questions about TubeBuddy, analytics, um, finding out how you measure up, et cetera, how you um, where you're at in your journey? Terry is in Missouri. Yep.
Terry's in Missouri. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I saw she put a post out earlier about being over there at Pomme de Terre. Everyone knows why I call you cousins. Yep. I need to get TubeBuddy. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'm gonna tell you guys something else that's huge. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if your channel is built on optics, like you're building your channel, let's just put it this way: people watch your stuff because they like your method of filming and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you do a lot of camera angles and you do a lot of different things, like your camera, you put it in places
Mm-hmm.
that cameras aren't normally at. That's me. I put cameras in places that a lot of places they are not normally at. Um, get some GoPros. Get some type of camera that has good. Let's just put it this way: that it doesn't look shaky whenever you're filming with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Get yourself something that you can mount solidly and put in different positions, and you can use to make these videos and stuff like that. Because if you do anything like for drag racing or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
I put cameras everywhere. I have them underneath the car. I have them on top of the car. I have them in the car. I have them, and I use scenes from all of it. I think to me, it makes a much better video than somebody standing at the starting line with a phone videoing me getting smaller, going away.
I like that
On,
video that you have that camera that faces. You look out the back window and you're showing the actual commute.
yes.
That's awesome shot.
So what I'm saying is you need to actually have some kind of good, make an investment. It's for your channel. Get some kind of camera system. And I'm going to recommend getting, if you buy a GoPro, get a
Mm-hmm.
creator's version, a creator series. Um, because it comes with a lot of things that are really nice for videoing. I can tell you what, if you stand at an auction for like 6 hours like I did today, you really don't want to change batteries every 25 minutes in your camera.
Right.
And I don't have to do that because I've actually got a creator series, which I use the same battery throughout the entire filming. And it's because the actual holder, handle, and everything is its own battery.
That's awesome. Can you
Micro,
list that? Can you put that in your where we can see it somewhere?
what's that?
The one that you have or the
I
suggestion?
would, but it's out in my truck right now. I used
That's
it
all
all
right.
day and I got home. Here's how it works, guys. I get home and I got a whole armload of stuff, and I'm coming in the house. I can't walk in the house without an armload of stuff for whatever reason. And I can tell you what I had today. I had an armload of JL's barbecue and some other stuff that I brought in with me. So it's still out in the truck, and I'm going to get it out probably tomorrow night and start pulling that stuff off of it and seeing what I got. Lori said, "Oh, thank you, Lori." Said I'm master at editing too. Yeah, thank you. I really take pride in editing. I really do. That's it's one of the things I like a well edited video,
Now,
and
do you edit, Johnny,
I do everything.
from your phone or your computer, laptop? How do
Computer.
you? Uh-huh.
I use an iMac, and I do everything in iMovie.
Mm-hmm.
So
It takes less time to get it all edited.
I love drone footage too. So I did some drone footage today. I'm excited about that. But I'm just saying, if you can add another element to your videoing and stuff like that, it actually makes your video. It adds spice to your video because you can only do so many things with a phone. Okay. A lot of people, they do all their stuff with their phone. I mean, they do everything. I know some people who have tried to move away from a phone and then they go right back to a phone. Tony, not to name any names, but so they go right back to a phone, and I'm going to put this out here again. So anyway, you want to keep spice on your video. You really do. You want to make sure that doesn't work real good here. We always have high winds. Wanda Henry, you would be amazed at what I can fly a drone in.
Oh gosh, I would love to know which drone you have. Are they hard to operate?
I've flown my drone in 35-mile-an-hour wind. The thing about it is, if you're in high wind, you got to make sure that you have really good, what they call it. They call it a, help me here, Jesse or Janae.
Yeah.
Gimbal. You have a really good gimbal on it.
Gimbal, that's it. Yeah.
You got to have a really good gimbal.
Yeah.
I've actually flown my drone in such high winds before that it couldn't come back. So I had to actually take it down really low and bring it in basically under the trees and stuff like that to get it back to me.
And there's some beautiful, beautiful captures with drones.
Oh, yeah.
Mean, it's just, you feel like you're soaring, I just love that. And Jesse put something in the chat here. Excellent monopod for camera holding.
Yep. He put an Amazon link for a monopod. What a difference between the phone and the GoPro that you think stand out as far as quality goes.
Quality.
The fact that a GoPro has so many ways of mounting it and holding it, and you can actually keep it. It's such steady video. There's drawbacks to GoPros. The drawback is the fact that things look more distant than they actually are. I think there are a lot of places where a phone actually works better. I can tell you two of them. One of them is if I'm at an auction and I cannot get close enough to the auctioneer or the item because of the crowd. I can actually zoom with the phone and do all that kind of stuff. But a GoPro is a capture magnet. I mean, it will capture things that you didn't even imagine happened. I see, like I was at one of the races and I didn't even realize it, but it captured because I will hold it. I'll have a GoPro on almost all the time. The GoPro is just running.
Right.
And it captured one of the canopies blowing away that nobody even said anything about. Nobody acted like they even knew about it, but my GoPro caught it.
Wow. You wear them on your helmet when you're in the race car as well, don't you? Is that a GoPro inside?
Yeah, there's a GoPro inside. I use GoPros everywhere on the car. I have them under, on top, inside. And then Christine films from the line. So we get 4 different angles of the run. And if I could, I'd put a GoPro at the end of the track, pointing back. But which GoPro would I recommend? I'll tell you one. I have had and have. I have a GoPro 7. I have a GoPro 10. I have a GoPro 11, and I have a GoPro 13. And I can tell you right now, the GoPro 13 is head and shoulders above every other GoPro that I have had. So if I'm going to recommend a GoPro right now, it's going to be a GoPro 13. A GoPro 13 has a feature that is not on the 10 or the 11 that I have, and that is the feature that it will have the same quality of sound in front of the camera and behind the camera. So you know how whenever you're watching somebody videoing, you're watching somebody's video, they've got the camera pointed at themselves, they talk, it sounds great, and then they turn the camera away from them to point it at whatever over there. And then when they talk, you can hear an obvious difference in sound.
Yeah.
The GoPro 13 has a setting inside of it that you can set that will give you exactly the front
continuity.
And the back.
Yeah.
Wanda, if I have had the GoPro 13 for about probably 4 months now, and I have not found any. I have never had it shut off on me, ever. I've never had it not get sound like some of them do. I have never had it overheat. And I run that thing almost constantly. I mean, today it ran, there were several times whenever it ran over an hour.
Wow.
And it wasn't cool today. It was pretty warm.
Jesse says it's a surround sound for recording.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bobby said, I wish we had YouTube when I raced in the 80s, 90s when I won over 200 races. I might have over 1 million subs. Well, Bobby, you might. The thing is you have to. I think one of the tricks was to be in before COVID, which I wasn't. I wasn't in before COVID. If you could have got in before COVID, that would have helped you a lot. That's true about sound, but if you don't have a choice, you need to control your sound and editing. Yep, you can kind of control your sound and editing, but you can't change the muffled part. You can make it louder, but you can't take the muffled out of it. And that's what it sounds like on a GoPro or a lot of different things whenever you turn the camera away from you. The only thing I can tell you is, yep, we use Bluetooth mics when we film so the sound stays the same no matter what position I am in. Yep, that's right, MT Homestead. But see, what I do is I try to video without mics anymore. I used to use mics all the time. I had Rode mics and stuff like that. But now I'm making a lot of videos where I never speak. I never speak. I love to make videos like that. I'm going to say it again. I love to make a video where I never speak. So since I'm not speaking, I really don't need a mic on me. I want my GoPro to pick up everything. I want to pick up the birds. I want to pick up water gurgling. I want it to pick up all the little things. And that's what it does. There's no way I'm going to, take a mic and set it over by water gurgling whenever my GoPro can pick it up so much better. I have a shoulder mount for my GoPro 10. I have one of those too. I have all kinds of different.
And you'll get that in the GoPro 13 feature with the sound.
Now what?
You'll get that continuity on the GoPro 13 for the good sound. It'll stay consistent.
I mean, if you want to see, I've got some videos out on. I mean, I'm not telling you guys to go watch my videos or nothing. I'm not going to do it. So, if you want to watch them, you will. If you don't, you won't. That's just the way it is. But the ones that I do where I never talk or anything like that, you can hear all the background sounds. You can hear the birds. You can hear the water gurgling. You can hear the cows munching. You can hear all those things. And that's what I'm going for. Since I don't talk a whole lot anymore, I find it a lot better to just let the GoPro with a media mod, which is on my 13, and the front and back sound. I find that it seems to be the best option for my filming.
Yeah, so y'all
Thank
go
you,
watch
Paul.
videos.
You can. It's one of those you can lead a horse, but you can't make them drink type things. And I understand that. I understand everybody's got all their folks and they watch and everything like that. And I get it because I'm the same way, guys.
We'll all catch up on each other's videos. Make rounds, y'all make rounds.
Well, I'm putting up the link again here. If somebody else wants to come up and talk to me about this, I would be more than happy to discuss. If Mike, if you want to pop in, or Josh video, tell them to go watch them. Thank you guys, but I'm telling you, if they accidentally happen to watch one, they might like it. I don't know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, excellent, y'all. And also on your Gillum Farms and Outdoors and More channel, is that where you're going to have all of your racing and your car and your camping?
Well, I tried that. I put some of my racing over there, and whenever I did, it didn't get any reach. Let's just put it that way, because that channel is so new. It never got reach. I mean, a good video over there is one that gets 120 views. That's a good video over there. And since it doesn't get reach and it's not getting watched, I thought I started putting the racing stuff back on Gillum Farms, because it actually does get a little reach there. I mean, my racing videos get from 1,000 to 4,000 views on Gillum Farms, but
that's a good question.
Videos get thousands upon thousands of views.
Yeah. And so if you have this other channel, if you're going to get, if there's a lot of people out there that I've seen that has a second channel, how do you make this channel grow and I mean, is it just time? It's just a time thing.
I can tell you,
to get that reach and all that.
There's different ways of making channels grow. Some people think channel growth is subscribers. I don't. I don't think channel growth is subscribers at all. I think channel growth is views. So I know everybody's struggling or trying to get to everybody's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, but once you get to 1,000 subscribers, don't worry about it. Let your work speak for itself.
Mm-hmm.
If you're good, it's going to grow. I mean, it'll grow. I mean, if it's what people want to see, there he is. So I'm gonna bring Big Mike up.
All
Today
right.
I'm gonna.
All
You
right.
mind popping down?
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm just doing one-on-one tonight.
Y'all have a good night. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you. All right. Here we go.
Y'all have a blessed weekend.
Hey.
Bye-bye. Hey, I see that shirt. Hey, I saw you had it with the morning talk on Friday.
I did.
And I cannot, man, it's hard for me to get in there. I mean, I'd love to get in there on Friday and stuff like that, but it's so hard for me. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Because Friday morning just seems to be, a rush morning for me for whatever reason. But
so I do that live every Monday and Friday, but this Monday I'm going to be off the farm. Mm-hmm. I have a bunch of VA appointments I've got. Yeah. So I got to go to Muskogee.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you popped up. So your experience with YouTube, because that's what this is about.
Yep.
My experience is, I've talked to people about that YouTube for me is like a universe. Whenever you put out a video, it starts moving you toward a solar system, toward a solar system, toward a solar system. And if you do it all just right, you eventually end up in a solar system where people want to watch what you're putting out.
Right.
If you're all over the place, it puts you all over the place and not necessarily where you need to be.
Right.
Some people, and consistency is key, very key for my channel, extremely key. And I think it is for Brandon Eddy as well, because I think Brandon said that he puts out a video every 2 days.
Yep.
And I mean, and he did that for 3 years, a full-on video every 2 days to get to where YouTube finally started rolling, the way it should. Me, I do a video every Friday for sure, and I try to do a video every Tuesday, Wednesday. And these are full-on videos. They're not just shorts and stuff like that, which reminds me I got to fix something real quick. But hey, there's Bland's Promised Land Ranch. So what's your experience, Mike?
I think that YouTube knows everything that's going on. They have a program that runs everything. That's why you can get so much detail out of your analytics when you go in there. And I think a lot of problems that creators have, and Terry lives on the analytics.
Yep.
Is they don't know how to interpolate what they're seeing in their analytics.
Yep.
That's a big thing. But then part of when you start out a channel, and I read somewhere that only 10% of the total 144 million channels, only about 10% make it past 10,000K ever. Okay.
And whenever you're saying 10K, what do you mean?
In subscribers.
Okay.
And then they just give up. And then I think it's something like 25K make it to 1,000 before they give up. And then once they get to 1,000, they've worked so hard to get to that 1K that they just, you know what, this is just tiring. This is just too much work. And the other part of them are, I'm not having fun anymore.
Yep.
Once you stop having fun, I don't care if it's a job, If it's YouTube, you just say, man, I got to move on to something different. And those are some of the stumbling blocks. And then trying to find your identity as a channel. Now, you might go on there and say, this is a farming channel. And you have something small like us, 3 acres. And then you go, man, I can't think of anything that I haven't put out. Okay. Yep. And then they start creating something else, or they add videos that has nothing to do why their original subscribers came over to watch them. Yep. Now, granted, during COVID, homesteading channels just blew up.
They did.
Because everybody was stuck at home, and then you seen the decline after it was all over and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. And a lot of people romanticize homesteading. They really do.
Yeah.
They romanticize homesteading, tiny home living, and things like that.
Yeah.
And the reality of that stuff is it's not as romantic as it seems. Let's just put it, if you're actually doing it, let's just put it that way. Yeah. And I've had discussions with channels about that, that are actually doing the tiny house thing and stuff like that. And it's just, to do this, to do YouTube, and I'm going to say to make YouTube profitable, you are going to have to treat it as a business, and you're going to have to treat it like work.
Yes,
you are. You're going to have to Christine knows, I'm going to go X days a week. I'm going to be gone all day. I'm going to be videoing. I'm going to come back certain nights. I'm going to be editing. And then, I'm going to put out content certain times and things like that. And she doesn't. It's just like her job. I don't mess with it. And mine, she understands I need that quiet time for mine.
Right.
And if it was super easy, everybody would do it. And it would be like, but it's not. It really isn't. People who have built big channels, and when I say big, I mean a lot of views. When people build channels that get lots of views, they have worked their butts off to get to that point.
Right.
So, the other thing is the folks who get a channel and they think, if I can just get to my 1,000 subscribers, I can quit my job. And we've all seen it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we can all give examples of, we have the analytics, we have the numbers and stuff like that. We can give you examples of what it takes to get to certain amounts of, like, if you have to have a certain amount of income, what it's going to take on YouTube to get to the point where you're making that certain amount of income to be able to sustain that, and then how much work you're going to have to put into it to get those views and stuff like that. So I'm quite happy with how, the Gillum Farms channel is doing, because we've been monetized for a while. And I remember when I think our first goal was, let's make $100 a month. I think that was our first goal. Let's make $100 a month. And we finally got to where we could make $100 a month. We didn't, every month we didn't make $100. I mean, $100 is what it takes to actually get money put in your bank account. You actually have to have $100 worth of stuff. You've got to have, whether it be
revenue.
Yeah, revenue. Whether it be your AdSense revenue, or whether it be, some people have memberships and some people have, whatever it happens to be, you've got to have $100 in your account,
right,
to actually make any money, to see anything from it. Then my goal was to get to $500, and we got $500, and then we went, let's go to 1,000. We got to 1,000. Then now we're at 2,000. So that's the goal right now, but that's not where I want to stop. I mean, I want to continue, but And my thing is, and I've told people this on and on, I don't want to take my Social Security at 62. I want to just do YouTube, let my Social Security sit until I'm older, and then I'll take it later. Because if I took my Social Security at 62 and I keep doing YouTube, they're going to dock me on my Social Security.
Yeah.
They're
Because
gonna,
like right now, I did Social Security. It was beneficial for me to take it at 63 is when I started taking it. But you have to do your research on that, how much you made totally, how much you're going to get monthly. And I think right now I can't make more than $1,800 a month of revenue under my name. That's why the channel's under Terry's name. Okay. Because I can't make more than $1,800 a month. Or they'll take, let's say I made 1,800 or I made 2,400. So $600 they'll take out of my Social Security to bring me back to balance at $1,800 a month that you can earn. But then I looked at it again and I talked to a financial guy and he says, do you realize how much money you're going to lose between 63 if you don't take until you're 68? How much revenue you're going to miss out on in between there, and you'll never make that up, even though you're going to
you won't live long enough.
Yeah, probably won't. So there was certain things, but I mean, and it didn't bother me because I have 3 different retirement incomes coming in besides my, so that's number 4. Yeah. So it was no brainer when they said, hey, you can retire at 63. Man, I was out the door. 45 years with the government was enough for me.
Well, see, the thing is, I'm retired. All right. Yeah. I YouTube and cattle is what I do.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I still don't have Social Security. I don't actually have a retirement income coming in right now because my retirement income, I have like 3 retirement incomes other than my Social Security that I would be able to draw on. I think it's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's federal retirement, what they call that? What's the other thing? What's the thing that they've got? It's kind of like a 401k. I can't remember.
TSP.
Yeah, TSP. I've got that. I've got a state retirement. I guess it's 3. Anyway.
But you got to remember something. Pensions do not go against what you're allowed to make each month. It doesn't even figure into your Social Security.
Right. And I'm not concerned about that. I am concerned about what I make on YouTube, though.
Yeah.
So,
but again, you got to look at, hey, all of a sudden your channel's not doing good. You're struggling. You apply for Social Security because you're at that ripe old age. And then all of a sudden your channel starts getting bigger and you go, oh, you can always go back to the Social Security office and say, hey, I want to disenroll from Social Security right now. Mm-hmm. And they'll allow you to do that.
Yeah.
Because you're making too much money. Because they will take it away from you.
They will. They will. So like I said, what I'm going to try to do is I'm just going to try to roll with this as long as I can.
Yeah.
And it seems to be, I mean, I'm happy with the way things are going. And that's what this whole series is about. It's because I want everybody to be able to get there, but I want them to understand what it takes to do it. If you think when I get to my 1,000 subscribers, see that Catbird 68 thing right there? It says, remember, don't quit your day job.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good advice right there. Okay.
Yes.
You're going to have to consistently, you're going to have to find and I'm not going to call them a subscriber base. You're going to have to find your viewer base. You're going to have to find your viewer base. And you're going to have to consistently get those views. You're going to have to pull views. And I can show example after example to people of, like, if you have your videos are like this or like this or like this. And I know it all makes a difference between like who actually advertises on your channel,
Right.
what kind of advertisers you pull that want to be actually associated with your channel for whatever reason. I mean, I'm going to say it right here. I put out some gun videos. Not everybody wants to be associated with my gun video. Okay.
Right.
So my gun video, even though it gets a lot of views, it might not make as much money from AdSense as, say, one of my auction videos that doesn't have any guns, or one of my car videos or something like that, or a Danny video for that matter. Hey, Dakota, Pecan Homestead, Dakota and Shayla. So, and I've looked at the analytics of that, and I think that's the reason why you have noticed that there's been a lot of the gun channels that have actually stepped away from YouTube, and they're over on a new platform called Pepperbox now.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen that Demolition Ranch, he's off of there.
Yeah.
And that one in Missouri where the husband and wife, they just stepped out. They went away. I mean, there's been
Hickok 45.
Yeah. There's a lot of channels, and the ones in Missouri said, we've made enough money.
Yep.
We've got everything that we want. It's taken way too much time. And of course, they're into the cattle and the hog business and stuff like that now. But they're stepping away. I mean, Demolition Ranch was getting 1 million views every time he turned the camera on.
Right.
And then you got to look at, for us, ours dropped off a bit between December and the meetup because we put so much time into the meetup and we didn't put out consistent videos. So you fall out of the YouTube recommendation when they don't see constant. You have a pattern. You're posting every Monday and Friday or whatever you're doing. They see you totally drop off the spectrum. Now, we were doing lives, but that's a whole nother ball of wax is the lives and stuff like that. Because the people who watch your lives, you usually don't get a whole lot more people that are going to watch the entire live as the ones you have inside the chat when you're actually doing it.
Yeah.
So when you get off and you go and you look and you say, okay, let's say you had 175 people in your chat at the max. Then you go back and look at your analytics and says, there was 60 hours of watch time. Well, when you divide 175 into 2 hours or 60 hours, then you realize how many people were not sticking around for the whole thing.
Yeah.
They were coming in and they went out. Hey, what's this about? Oh, I don't want to watch that. And you're in your brain, you're counting them as they watched it, but you have to do your due diligence and do your math and say, hey, I got this many, I mean, you can get 10,000 views on a video, but if you take that 10,000 and divide it into what your watch hours are, then you can basically figure out, or analytics will tell you also, is how long are people watching your videos? And the longer they watch your videos, that's where the revenue comes in. And then you have to look at one other thing is when people are, you can have 30,000 whatever subscribers, but if your view rate is only, let's say, 5% of that of your total subscribers, if you go in there and you go, oh, I got 2,000 views, but you got 30,000 subscribers, that doesn't do you no good anyway. So people just subscribing to subscribe and they never watch you again, that hurts your channel also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have somebody in the basement right now, but I do not know them at all. I don't think they've ever commented on anything that I have. So go into the chat, comment, make yourself known to the channel and stuff like that, and possibly someday we can bring you up, but I can't bring you up right now. You got it? I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So, so what I'm saying here is, yeah, I was telling Dakota about what that channel was and stuff like that. Yeah, it was somebody named Let Me Be Frank with something. So, yeah, I'm just saying I'm not familiar with them whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I don't bring anybody up on panel that I don't know personally.
Yeah.
If you have over 50,000 subscribers and you can't break 100, something's wrong.
Yeah.
That is true. And we have to be careful with that, because there are some people, and I'll give you an example. We got into the thing with the Danny shorts and stuff like that, where the Danny shorts brought a lot of subscribers,
Right.
a lot of subscribers. And so, but people who watch Danny shorts aren't necessarily going to watch videos.
Right.
They'll, and if they did watch a video, if they saw, maybe Danny in the thumbnail and they clicked on it, they go, oh, there's Danny. And then they click off, because they saw all of Danny that was in the video, wherever he, whatever point he was. And then that's all they watch. So it doesn't help. And we almost got caught up in that. So we could have a lot of subscribers from the shorts,
Right.
and not get a lot of video views on the actual long form videos that we put out. So we had a real strong short base and as far as everything else, no.
Yeah. And then you got to take into account the length of your videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the length of your videos till you actually get to the point of the video. There's not a whole lot of people. I mean, there are dedicated people that will watch your entire videos every single time they come out. But if you're putting out consistent 40-minute videos and you're not seeing the watch hours on those videos that you should, you might want to rethink your game plan on the length of your videos, because nowadays people's attention span is not very long. It's like taking a 6-year-old kid fishing. You know how long their attention span lasts for. So, and that's why the shorts, and they built the shorts and improved the shorts so they could compete with TikTok.
Yeah.
And there's people, when you were saying earlier, you try to keep your, 10 to 13 seconds. I mean, trust me, that even might be a lot for a lot of people that's watching shorts. You know what I mean? And it's got to catch marketing says you have to catch somebody's attention within 7 seconds. Okay. Or they're done with your video.
Yep.
So if you're talking for a minute and a half, 3 minutes before you actually get into your video, that's why a lot of channels start their little talk channels, on the side.
Yeah.
So David had come on, and a lot of people They have Tim at Ridge Life, and then you'll see people will watch those because they enjoy the talk or whatever. But most people want you to get to the point, say what you got to say, show what you got to show, and then your video. So those long drawn out ones, for some people, it's going to help. I watched one today, Peak. He has a farming channel, and a company reached out to him, and he was talking earlier in videos that he's got this land and he'd like to, hay the fields and stuff like that, but he didn't have the assets to do it. Well, they sent him a freaking a hay cutter, and you know what a hay cutter costs, right?
Yeah.
So they sent it to him, and he did a quick assembly, just jumped through it real quick, and then got out there to use the thing. Well, you're talking about something that's probably around $2,000 or more. The one that he got.
Yeah, if it's a really cheap hay cutter.
Yeah. It's from somewhere over in China land or whatever sent it to him. But it did its job and stuff like that. But you just got to really look at the length versus your watch hours versus how many people actually viewed that video. And that's key. That means they're not watching the whole video. So,
yeah. So, all right. Now, again, people who come into the basement and stuff like that, I need to know you. So I've seen you chat a couple of times in the chat, but I don't know you. Start coming into my videos. Start coming into my stuff. Start watching the stuff. Start coming into the lives. Make yourself known to the community and stuff like that. But right now, I can't. I'm sorry. I see you thumbs up at me, and there you go. Thank you. So anyway, and I apologize for having to be that way, but I've seen some things. I've seen some things happen. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Bigly.
Yeah.
Anyway, shoots somehow now believe they recently changed that. Shorts views count for monetization. Somehow now believe.
Yeah, you got to have a whole lot of.
Somebody kick that dude. All right. Yeah, I was not.
Good call.
What I was doing was whenever somebody comes in, I put it up on subscriber mode. They get 5 minutes and sit there, and then they come in the chat. Anyway, I will not bring anybody in that I do not know.
Yeah.
Especially when they're smoking on the screen right below me, and it's not gonna. They're not coming in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I've been in situations where people have come into not into mine, but I've been on a panel before where somebody wasn't known came in and it was a bad deal.
Yeah.
So, shorts. People were asking out there if shorts counted for watch hours. They do. Shorts count for watch hours. I can show you. Example. I can show you. I'm sure Bland's Promised Land Ranch can show you as well.
Yeah.
That's shorts that have got I've got a short with more than 4,000 watch hours on it. So, shorts count for monetization. You can actually make quite a bit of money off of a short. I've got shorts that have made over $800. Shorts aren't just, they're not nothing.
Right.
They actually they're useful in their own right and stuff like that. The trap though can be is if you're caught into the fact that you can't get the people to watch the rest of your stuff. And I had to do something about that. So what I did was I looked for what content on my channel actually would get. Here's my second channel. I'm Pettit Jean River Homestead, y'all. Blue Mountain Outdoors. Cool.
All right.
That's Bobby on his other channel, Blue Mountain Outdoors. Thanks for coming in, Bobby, on your other channel. So what I did was I looked back. I can tell you, I've got a book right here. It's called The YouTube Formula. You heard of that one, Mike?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Yep. At the very beginning of that one, it'll tell you the first thing you do with YouTube is make 100 videos. And I think that was Mr. Beast who was saying that part of it. Make 100 videos. And if after you make 100 videos, if your first video doesn't make you want to throw up, then you're not improving. You need to literally be sick watching your first few videos. Let's just put it that way. And then you make another 100 videos and you continuously try to make your videos better. You want your next video to be better than the last video that you put out.
Yep.
And you consistently strive to put out a better product every single time. So whenever you're trying to do that, let me put it this way. I looked all the way through all those videos that I did, and I've got, I don't know how many videos the channel's got. It's got like 700 or 800 videos now or something like that. But I looked through all the videos and I looked and saw which videos actually performed and which videos didn't perform. And then once I figured out which videos actually performed for the Gillin Farms channel, that's where I started focusing the channel toward, is that type of video. And then I had to finally got to a consistency point to where now people know that I put out, they know Gillin Farms, they know Friday there's going to be an auction video. It's simply like this. It's kind of like, I know that every Friday or Saturday, Dalton at Pole Barn Garage is going to put out a video. Friday or Saturday. So I look for that. Because that's one of my guilty pleasure channels. Okay.
Right.
I watch a lot of the homesteading community, but I also watch a lot of other stuff. And I know that, oh, wow. And I get to looking forward to it. I actually go, wow, they're going to put a video out either tonight or tomorrow. It's either going to be Friday night or Saturday. It's going to come out. It's like the sun rising type of thing. And that's what you want to do, is you want to make sure that people will actually look forward to seeing what you're putting out, because they go, all right, so-and-so, whoever that may be, I'm not going to say Gillin Farms or anything like that, whatever channel we're talking about is going to put out a video at this time on this day. And then
go ahead.
And I think that really helps the channel. And there is Cuckoo Knievel. And Cuckoo Knievel, I have actually, he's a long time person I have found, or has found my channel and stuff like that. Instructional videos are the best when they can give you some information on how to. And he found my channel because he watched some of my earlier dozer stuff.
Yeah.
Because he had bought a dozer just like mine, and he was looking for content on YouTube about that dozer, and I came up. And so we actually have, I think we text now one another and all kinds of stuff. But that's where that channel has come from. And he's talking about how-to videos, and that's great, because I'm getting ready to put out one on how-to, because my dozer is getting ready to do a ton of clearing right here on this property. We
Yeah,
got
you know, the secret to the how-to videos is that you can go on YouTube and let's just say, how do you hook up a brush hog?
yeah.
You can watch 10 different videos and you'll find 10 different ways on how somebody does something. So it's really, you know, nobody's, you know, what is that saying about jack of all trades, but a master of none? And farmers, ranchers, and homesteaders, they live by that. What works for you may be somebody else might say, oh, well, what are you talking about? Because I read the comments too. You know, why are you doing it this way? And people are so, and here's another thing about being a YouTuber. You have to have thick skin.
Oh yeah.
If you're thin skinned, you're in the wrong game. Okay. Because there's certain things like I can tell you one time I did a quail video on dispatching quail and preparing them. And I had them in my wife's farm sink and I just had the water dripping. I had a lady from Africa just rip me a new one for wasting water. I mean, this comment went on for 2 or 3 paragraphs, how I'm destroying the earth and all kinds of stuff. I'm like going, wow, you know? And so when you're a creator and you're doing something, and a lot of people with children, and that's why YouTube is so hard on videos with kids in them and stuff like that. Everybody's an expert in raising children. Okay. And a lot of YouTube channels go away with children for that reason, because they just take a tongue lashing in the comments over their inability to be a good parent and stuff like that. And most of these people have never lived on a farm. Have, you know, they think a cow is in the supermarket in a carton and stuff like that. And then McDonald's hamburger isn't, you know, inhumane, if you will. So people just got to be really careful on how they integrate their entire family on their channel, because if you're thin skinned, they will eat you alive.
They will.
Your response just fuels the fire, you know, depending on your response form. You know what I mean? So yeah, I know quite a few channels that's left YouTube just for that reason.
Especially if they have like kids and stuff like that. You know, there's more than just and the Gillum Farms channel is mainly just me. I mean, Christine's in the lives and in some of the lives, and she's in some of the videos and stuff like that. But mainly it is just me. And the reason it's just me is because of, you know, different things like that. You know, I'm trying, you know, she's got her own channel. And I try and I do most of the stuff, I guess you'd say. I mean, I like to video with her when she's there, yeah. You know, but she's not always there. Let's just put it that way.
You're her editor in chief.
But things in, as far as thick skin, Mike is spot on. You have to be able to just take it. I mean, I can assure you that, you know, folks, the obvious is, you know, your concept of the obvious is amazing. And that is like when people tell me that my cattle have flies on them. Awesome.
Very observant. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And that's what they're going to get. Yeah, they got some flies on. Yeah, it happens. Cattle, summer. And
well, didn't you guys take something from YouTube because they thought Christine was juvenile?
Oh yeah, she's
tractor.
Yeah, and that's part of, because she, you know, she was on the tractor. She was wearing a Rebecca hat. It was cold. She was bundled up and she was moving a hay ring with the loader on the tractor. And it was a short, and it was a remix off an actual long form video.
Right.
And they took down the short, gave me a child endangerment warning, said that I had to take a class to get that removed from my, and it's still hanging over me right now. It's still out there hanging over me. And I am absolutely not, hi guy, how you doing? I'm absolutely not going to take a class on child endangerment because my 50-something-year-old wife was driving a tractor.
Yeah.
I'm not going to admit guilt. Let's just put it that way. I'm not admitting guilt because I didn't do anything wrong. And the funny thing is they left up the long form video and it has no problems and no restrictions and no anything. And it's the exact same scene is in that.
Yeah.
I even went so far as to call, or you can't call. I'll email. I did my.
Once you hit 100,000.
I did my little. Well, yeah, and I think that has steps too, but I did my little. What do you call it? Whenever you contest it, you say I didn't do anything wrong. Basically, you're contesting it. I did that, and they said, okay, we understand you're contesting it, but it's still child endangerment. Okay. Then I was able to actually email. So I emailed this AI. I'm sure it was AI that I was emailing. I finally got them to admit that she was not a minor, but they could not take off the child endangerment. This was after 5 emails back and forth. I said, that's my wife. She is 51 years. She was 51 at the time. So she is 51 years old. She is not a minor. That is as much tractor is, it's as much her tractor as it is mine. And, et cetera, et cetera. And they said, oh, we understand that she's not a minor, but the child endangerment must stay. And I'm like, forget it. Not doing anything. I've had actual people. I think Butler told me, he said, oh, just take the deal. He said, I've had to do it. Just take the thing and they'll take it off. And I'm like, I'm not taking a class saying that I endangered a child. I'm not doing it. It's not happening.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it was all, it was not cool. Yeah. So anyway, but I'm, I had people ask me to continue on with this thing and stuff like that. And I thought, well, I'll try to. If anybody has anything in particular that they want to know, me and Mike are right here, and Mike knows quite a bit of stuff about this stuff. I know some stuff. There's people in the chat that know stuff. Brandon Eddy was in here a little bit earlier, and but let me see here. But I've got a link right there. If Monica, if you want to come up, tell us your experience or whatever, you're more than welcome to. Brian, yeah, it was really stupid, Lori. It was not a good deal. We admitted no fault because we did nothing wrong either. There you go. So what did Monica say on that? We got a tractor hit too, same type of thing, but with an actual kid. He was 14. Man, no fault. Yeah, that's right. 14-year-old kids can drive tractors, guys.
Not in Silicon Valley.
On the farm, 14-year-old kids can drive tractors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's my name's on the list. I can pull it up and I can show it to you. I can show you my warning that I've got out there. It's an actual full-on strike is what it is.
And then they mark your video as ineligible for monetization.
Yeah, sometimes they do that. And luckily, I tell you what, if you want to get a video, like a short or a video marked ineligible, put heifer in the title somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I had one that they struck me on because did a video, and I said, well, I was closing it out, and I said something to
Hey,
the
Dave.
effect that I was going to watch something on TV on January 20th, and yeah, they demonetized the whole video because of that statement.
Yeah, exactly. It's YouTube. YouTube is
They're very political.
weird place. Let's just put it
Yeah.
that way.
They say they're not, but they are.
Yeah, I can tell you, if you use, I mean, I had a short that I put out, and I used the word heifer in the short, and man, they wouldn't monetize that thing, and I kept on and on and on. Finally, I got it monetized because I'm like, heifer. I mean, it's a cow, man.
Yeah.
It's not even a cow. It's a cow that hadn't had a calf. That's all it is.
Yeah.
A heifer. Cow hadn't had a calf yet. There we go. Yeah, it's like walking through a minefield. They told you it was around here somewhere. Yeah, that's right. There's certain hashtags you can't use on the hashtag picker. I was 4 years old when I sat in my first 200-mile-per-hour dragster. Yep. Politically correct is their thing. Exactly. Yep. But anyway, I just, I want YouTube to be everybody, all these channels and stuff that come in here and folks that come in here. I want them to understand how, in order to consistently make YouTube work for them profitably, that you really have to look at it as more of a business and as more of a job, I guess you'd say, because it is. And so if you're not into the job thing, maybe not. You know what I mean?
But don't quit your day job.
Don't quit your day job. I'm going to bring Monica up. No, I'm not.
No.
So I'm going to bring her up, and we're kind of going to go around the circle here real quick.
Don't mind me. We've been working cattle all day. And so I got in my garden for the first time this whole season. I was very excited because with my bulging disc in the back, I haven't been allowed to do normal things.
Oh, wow.
And I got in my garden and we picked green beans, and it has been a wonderful day, but I haven't done anything with anything. So I've just been working cattle and helping out on the farm. And of course, Eric was videoing the entire thing. Everything is content.
Hey, well, I'm going to step down because I gotta go lock the chickens up before the coons get out of their trees or wherever they're living at and come in. All right, guys. Thanks for having me up, Johnny.
Oh, absolutely, Mike. Anytime, buddy.
All right, brother.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hi, Monica. How are you?
Good. Yes, Eric had good lighting. Don't worry, Troy. Yeah, no, YouTube can be a bear sometimes. I mean, like if this was Eric coming up here, he would have made sure like everything was situated. Like I've got all my stuff over here on the bed. I messed up this bed earlier and threw a bunch of canning supplies on there, threw a blanket on there. The kids put some junk on there. I just came in here and I said, yeah, I'll go up real quick and, kind of get things ready. But I think that's the difference between our style too. Some people have a different style than other things. So I'm a little more disheveled in my style of YouTube than Eric is. He's but I think for him, it's more like a release too. It is kind of like being self-employed. You have to self-motivate. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, if you can't push yourself to do what is required, you're going to be disappointed because uh, I think a lot of people, and maybe this worked for some people, that they thought that they could take like their cell phone, pull it out of their pocket every once in a while, and shoot a little clip and
Mhm.
become a YouTube star, and then they'd be, independently wealthy from then on, and
That'd be so nice.
and maybe it worked like that for some people. Maybe there was somebody, some folks that did that, but we're not those folks. So it takes a lot, especially in the homesteading community,
Yeah.
because the homesteading community is very saturated.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember how many homesteading channels started during COVID,
Yeah.
but it was thousands upon thousands upon thousands of homesteading channels
Oh
started
yeah.
up during COVID because people were locked down in their home
Yep.
and they were looking for something to do. And then there were other people that were sitting at home looking for
Mhm.
something to watch.
Exactly.
And it was a
Yeah.
match made in heaven right
Well,
there.
I think it's more about the dream too, right? Everybody wants something that they don't have, or
Right.
everybody wants something that's kind of like a dream. And I think that there's part of us that really dream of having animals, or having some other place, like a little house on the prairie type deal. You
Mhm.
want that simple life. You want something back to when it wasn't so crazy. And we started making videos just kind of from this greenhouse. Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, Troy.
But I
How
think
you
that
doing,
that's
buddy?
that's part of it too. A lot of us started because we did want to find something to do. With us, I was making videos on Instagram, and well, I was making videos on Facebook the minute they came out with YouTube, Facebook Live. The minute they come out with those live videos on Facebook, I was making videos because when we moved here in 2014, I had a lot of family that lived back in Maryland, and I
Mhm.
wanted to share with them what we were doing. So I was making videos around the house, uploading them to my Facebook and sharing with my family.
Right.
And then I started doing the Facebook Live thing. And I had friends that would make fun of me because I would just get my phone, come on and be like, "Hey everybody, it's Monica. I'm just, here to show you what's going on." And we started the Bland's Promised Land Ranch page, just kind of to show people what we were doing here, because my Maryland friends could not believe what we were doing here. They're like, "Monica, you lived in the suburbs, you lived in a townhome, you lived in this little tiny yard where, you didn't even have your own chickens. Your chickens were on your dad's property," which he lived on, 3/4 of an acre. So it wasn't like we had bunches of space. And I literally lived 25 minutes outside of Baltimore City. Like I wasn't anywhere where we farmed. And so for my family, this was a great way for me to show them what was going on. Never dreamed of YouTube anything. And
Right.
I got a YouTube channel because it comes with the Google territory, right? And
Mhm.
so I made a few videos, and my son made a few videos with me, and we put it up way back in like 2015, just
Mhm.
playing around. And that was it. Locked it down, didn't do anything else. It was just for me and my son.
Mhm.
And then in 2020, when Eric lost his job, I was like, "Yo, you need to get off the top of the house." He was like doing roofing projects that he just didn't need to do. And I'm like, "Yeah, there you go." Started making videos a month before the real first announcement of COVID. Eric waited until the end of the year, at the end of 2020. And I said, "You know what? Why don't you make some videos showing people how to do some of the things you're doing? Because you need something to keep yourself busy while you're looking for another job." And so he started doing that. And I showed him how easy it was. I'm like, "Just take your phone out there and just make a video of what you're doing." And we used to go to YouTube for everything because we learned from YouTube. We figured, why not give videos to people that maybe are looking for the same things we're looking for? Just like the guy that you said came in here and found you because he had the same, equipment that you had. He needed some help with it,
Yeah.
found it, was looking at your video. That's a great piece of content. One of those evergreen contents that come back, and it may not have gotten a lot of hits right away, but that's something that people are going to keep coming back to
Right.
over the years.
Yeah. I
Those
think.
instructional or those how to.
Yeah.
I think that's super important. If you're trying to grow your channel, try to find those evergreen moments,
Yeah.
those things that people are going to watch over and over. I watch a video from Boots and Bounty Homestead, Casey and oh my gosh, can't even think of her husband's name now. Anyway, Boots and Bounty Homestead. She has a video, cooking videos, all a bunch of them. I have like 4 of them saved that I will literally go back every time I want to watch the recipe. I want to watch her do it again and again so that
Yeah.
I can make sure I'm making it right. And
Right.
every time I go back to the video, I kind of just chuckle because I'm thinking I should know how to do this by now.
Right.
But it's fun to get those videos and to see them do well and have success. And then other times you put a video out because you're like, this is gonna hit, this is gonna be great. And then it's like nothing.
Yeah, that's one of the things is we really, I wish we had a magic ball and we could predict exactly what video is going to be the video. Okay, I can assure you that every one of my best videos that I've had have absolutely not been what I would call anywhere near,
Yeah.
what I would call the best video. Let's just
Yeah.
put it that way. So
Yeah.
I fall into the trap sometimes. Me and Christine talk all the time, and I'll tell her, I said, this one I'm putting out today, I think this is going to be the one. This one's going to go. This one's really going to rock. This one's going to do this.
Yep.
And I tell you what, I'm going to have to quit doing that.
Yeah.
Because
that messes Eric up every time too.
So, yeah, that's right. All my best viewed videos have been my personal least favorite, says
That's
Andale.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. More about your family's life and time is what I like. You're good folks. Thank you, Guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Some people like those videos too. And it's funny because, I do the Vlogmas and Eric literally is not a fan of the Vlogmas, but I do it for those days in December. And I'm just going to tell you, I love it. Analytically, it doesn't do anything. Sorry. It doesn't do anything for our channel, the vlogging ones, but I like them. And so being a pair, see, you're doing your thing and thankfully Christine has her own. So you don't have to but I feel like, you work together as a couple, you do your thing. I just can't see myself getting another channel right now. I have a Monica at Bland's Promised Land Ranch, but that's my personal channel that I don't really put anything on. I put my Bible, like when Eric does Bible studies on Sundays, I throw the Bibles, the Sunday school lessons up there so that my Sunday school family can see them. That's what I do. I don't do anything there for myself.
So this discussion is kind of technical and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, the analytics, and I think you said something about you watch the analytics and stuff like that on your channel. The analytics of what it takes, you can do comparisons, you can do all kinds of things with your channel. You can look and see what kind of advertisers you're getting. You can look and see what, we all know what it takes to get to a certain point. I know how to do things, and I know what it takes to get to certain, and for me, I love YouTube. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I love it. Okay. I've met some of the most wonderful people in the world on YouTube. I mean, I'd say a majority of all of our friends are on YouTube now. We have a few friends that look at me like I'm an alien whenever I mention YouTube. But most all of our friends are from YouTube now. And so don't get me wrong on that. I love YouTube and everything. But as far as the, treating it like it's a self-employment, like gosh, here we go. Palmetto Paratrooper said, treating it like it's a self-employment and then having the, you want to just sit down and actually do this stuff, because I can tell you what,
I had that motivation.
It's a lot easier for me to just go outside and do something than it is to video it and then edit it. Because I can tell you, if you want to make anything that you do take at least 10 times longer than it actually does, video it.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
I can tell you, because you can. Oh my gosh. I mean, there's some things that I haven't even done yet, because I know whenever I go to videoing it, it's stuff that needs to get done, but I want to video it. But I know when I start videoing it, I better have a block of time.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take, you know, even though on the video it looks like I did it in, you know, 10 minutes, it's gonna
Yep.
it's gonna take me, you know, it's gonna be a 7-hour deal right there, an 8-hour
Yep.
deal just to do that one thing.
Well, I think that's important too, because sometimes you really don't want to get shoved into that YouTube shorts niche, right? You don't want to get put in that YouTube shorts cavity that people get sucked into, right? Where they only do shorts. I get it. Right now for us, because I was worried about that last year. And I told Eric, I said, I don't want to be stuck in YouTube shorts world. Like I want people to watch. And he said, you know what though? This is what fits my life right now. This is what I can handle. My job requires 60 to 80 hours of my time a week. My 40-hour salary job requires double almost some weeks. And we'll go for months where he's working so long and he comes home and he's wiped out. But over the weekend, he was able to film 4 or 5 shorts. There's a butt for every seat.
Yeah,
But that's true.
That's one of my big sayings. I've told everybody that in YouTube land, there's a butt for every seat. So no matter what you
Yep.
do, or I put it like this, if you just imagine there's billions of people in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not you're not the only person in the world that likes this certain thing that
Yep.
you video. And there are people, the big thing is to get those people to find your channel somehow. I guarantee if we all had the people that liked what we do, they
Mm-hmm.
not personally, not like what Johnny Gillum does, but like what the channel does. If they found the channel, we'd all have millions of views, and we'd
Yeah.
all have, you know, all these subscribers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. But the problem is getting to that. We've got to we've got to get the analytics, we've got to get YouTube, we've got to get everything to put us in that
Mm-hmm.
spot. Because whenever you think about it, 1 million people's nothing. I mean, there's 1 million people almost everywhere. I mean, it's finding, 1 million people that like, Brangus cattle. I'm sure I can find 1 million people in the world,
Yeah.
guys, that like that type of content. 1 million
Yeah.
people that like auctions. Oh yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee I can find 1 million people that like auctions. But them actually finding your channel
Yep.
and watching it, that's the trick.
Yeah. It's
That's
true.
what we're always working for.
Yep. I think it's important too for some of the channels too that are really struggling, that we're trying to figure out where they fit. If you're making that content that you like, I think it's important to know some of those little details too, making sure you're putting hashtags in, making sure you're putting a description in, making sure you're using some of those keywords that are maybe popping up. Put in your description or put in your hashtags what you would type in if you were looking for your video. If I am making a video on how to make blueberry jam, which it's funny because, Troy set it up here a minute ago. He said, our struggle is pausing life long enough to record things. It's just not a priority, simply because I haven't set it as a priority. Well, I was making blueberry jam yesterday and I had the best intentions. I recorded it as a short and I was doing so good until life took me away doing something else, AKA children. I came back and I just finished out the jam. I stirred it around. I made sure it was the right temperature. I threw it in the jars. I canned it and I was done. And Eric said, did you finish your video? And I said, I forgot I was making a video.
Yeah.
But I thought, okay, when I do this video, what am I going to look up? How to make blueberry jam, easy blueberry jam recipes, quick blueberry jam, make blueberry jam in a second, blueberry jam, no pectin. I was trying to think of what I would type in as I was looking for recipes on Google.
Yep.
Put that stuff in your hashtags, put that
Mhm.
stuff in your description hashtags
Right.
and put that in there, and make sure you're labeling your videos too, to go into, like, in your background, make sure you're labeling your videos to go into the right place. Like, we do pets and animals because most of our videos have cattle in them. So we're doing pets and animals. When I do a video in the garden, they don't have a gardening label. I wish they had a gardening label. I'm like, YouTube, get with the program. There's a lot of homesteaders out there. We need a homesteading label. But if you label your video as such, it's going to be helpful too. And I think that's
Hi,
important.
Annie.
People are missing that. When you're doing videos, it's important to do that background stuff too. It does help.
Absolutely.
At least
Yeah.
that's what I've found anyway.
Yeah, and we're all a little different. A lot of people are enamored with shorts because shorts for me are super easy. I mean, they are super easy. I rarely edit a short. I know you guys edit a lot more shorts than I do.
Well, that's Eric's jam, really. He loves shorts and he likes editing them because he can do it
Mm-hmm.
as a like wind down from work. When he gets home from work, the first thing he does is go put himself in the bedroom. If he hasn't finished a short, he'll lock himself in there for 30 minutes, edit a short out from all these little videos he took and put it together. I love that. Night,
Bye,
Troy.
Troy. Thanks
I
for
love
coming
that
in, buddy.
because for him, it's like that unwind from his crazy hectic day. But that's why he does it. I am not that great at it. My shorts look like trash compared to
Well, see, the thing is, I've edited shorts, and then I've edited them down to where I think this is going to be the best thing ever. And then I've taken my phone and flipped it up there, and Danny's done something silly, and I've said, "No, that's cool." And I've took the minute and a half it took to make a short out of it, and then went on about my day. And next thing I know, it's got a couple of 100,000 views on it. And I'm like, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
And and then I'll do the edit game on one, and it, I'm not going to say it doesn't get any views, but it'll get, it'll get 20 or 30,000 views, but it didn't do as good as the one I just kind of.
Yeah, it really stinks when you think you're going to have one that's like really good. You take all that time and you're like, yes, this is great. And then you see that it doesn't really hit the way you hoped. And Eric's always saying that to me. He's like, it's going to be a good one, Monica. I know it. And then he'll put it out and he's like, this is stupid. Didn't do well. How did it do? And I'm like, going to change your title a little bit. And he's like, fine. One of my shorts get over 1,100 views first time ever. That's so cool.
Very good. Very good. And the thing is, Annie, the reason why shorts get a lot more views a lot of times is because we're in the TikTok generation, and people have extremely short attention spans. And my experience with shorts is they're named shorts for a reason. They need to be short. I tell everybody, I watch a lot of shorts. Okay, they'll pop up on my recommended shorts and stuff like that, and I look, and they're folks from our community. Okay, they're the homesteading folks, and I start watching their short. And I'm not going to say who or what or anything like that, but I'm going to tell you, if that short keeps going, you're going to lose me.
Yeah.
I guess I'm part of the TikTok generation because I can't. I've told people in the past that if I have a short and it's 30 seconds long, it better be life altering. That short better be the most life altering short that ever was. Because if your short doesn't have my full attention and have me grabbed fully within 10 seconds, then I'm going somewhere else. I'm gonna look at the next short and stuff like that. So, but that's just my experience, and I've told people about that. Palmetto Paratrooper is one of them. I gave him some suggestions on short. He said it has really changed his short game a lot. And I know you guys do a lot with those. And your experience with what's your experience with a short amount of time? Like how long a short should be for Bland's Promised Land Ranch?
So we're doing pretty good with those 1 minute shorts. I mean, people are watching and staying into that minute. Our analytics are pretty good with that. And I think that's one of the reasons why Eric continues to do the shorts, mainly because it's easy for him right now, right? That's the season of life we're in. It's easy for him. And I'm okay with that because for us, it's we are enjoying YouTube still. And that's what my oldest son, my 25-year-old, when we started doing this 5 years ago, he said, here's what you need to remember. YouTube is social media, and it's just like any other social media. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, walk away from it because you're not retiring right now on YouTube, And that's the thing. It's been fun for us. The shorts have been good, and people are watching a lot of it. They're staying for our shorts. And now they have that 3-minute short thing. So Eric put a few minute and 30, minute and 20 shorts out. And we've had success with that too. They're sticking around for it. Now, they're not as let's see, the minute and 44 one. It's a T-post one. It got a little over 2,000. It got 2.8 thousand views. And that was 10 days ago. And that's average. That's okay. It's not phenomenal, but it's pretty good for a longer short. And that's what I told him. I said, you're looking at something that's a longer short. That's a new form that they're trying, where these shorts can go up to 3 minutes. And he didn't really want to do it. He's like, I'm sticking it right at that 56 to 1 minute mark. It, like, usually about 56 seconds in is what he tries to keep it, between 50. Now, some of the shorter ones are doing great, but most of ours that have done really well have gone right to a minute. And he tries to push it all the way to that minute, but he also really works hard at getting you hooked in that first 10 seconds.
Yeah.
He wants you to hear 10 seconds of him and go, oh, I wonder where this is going to go.
So what Eric's doing is he's doing what I do with my long form videos. So my long form videos, that's what I am. I try to hook. I try to hook hard, and I can keep on a 40-minute video. And most of my videos are 45 minutes long, which a lot of people would just like. And see, I'm totally opposite of on my long form stuff than I am on my shorts.
Yeah.
So my long form stuff is long. I put out a video the other day. It's an hour and 20 something minutes long.
I don't even think we could upload that here. I think it would shut down our internet. Our Wi-Fi would be like, no, sir.
It's gotten 30 something thousand views.
That's amazing.
And it's held everybody and it's held everybody in there for more than 20 some odd minutes.
That's great.
On that many views.
Yeah.
So, but on my shorts, to me, on my channel, I've tried some longer shorts, and it doesn't seem like my audience, let's just put it that way, my audience, because we all have our audiences.
Yep.
My audience hates anything if it's not. I can tell you, I can see the difference between a 15-second video and an 18-second video.
Oh.
Big time.
Okay.
And I've watched the analytics on these things, and the thing is if I don't get, like, I can tell you there's certain things I don't like about shorts. If I see a short go straight up immediately, I hate it. I hate a short that goes straight up immediately, because the higher it climbs, the faster it climbs, the harder it dies, is my experience. I like to see a ramp. I just like to see a good, I guess I need to do like that. So I need to, I just like a good ramp is what I want. And if I see a ramp, then I go, all right, this is in for the long game.
Yep.
This is going to kind of move. And that's what I'm looking for. And shorts, for me, they have to, not only do they have to ramp, and like I said, I hate them to go straight up, but in the first, I'd say in the first 20 minutes, and this is not going straight up. In the first 20 minutes, I want a short to be at 1,000 views.
Yeah.
If it can be at 1,000 views in 20 minutes, and then it just keeps ramping, then it's going to go the long game. And and that's what I like. I think every one of my very best shorts. I know you guys have got some phenomenal shorts. You were talking about an 8 million view short a while ago.
Yeah. So this is what it looks like, the 8 million one. See how it has that ramp? But it in the first 24 hours. There's our usual, right? There's our normal line, and it hit that line in about 8 hours.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just blew. And Eric was like, oh, this is kind of weird. But it really didn't. That was very unexpected. He didn't expect that at all. But then it's continuing to hit. And that's good. We like that. We like that it's still going. Like you're saying, that long game, right?
I like the long game. I hate something that I can see dying. I've got a long form video that I put out 3 months ago that's still going. It's 50 minutes long. It's got 300 and some odd thousand views.
Mhm.
And it's still, the ramp is still on the climb.
Yep.
So it's what you call an evergreen for me.
Yes.
And every day, I can see income from that video every single day. I mean, it's a long game video, and I love that. And evergreen videos don't necessarily always have to be how to fix something.
Mm-hmm.
They just have to be something that somebody wants to watch, and they can watch it anytime. I'll give you guys a tip out there in the chat. I'm sure a lot of you know it, but don't ever date your video or your short. Don't put a date in there anywhere or anything like that, because if somebody looks at that date and they goes, oh, that was, so many years ago. I mean, even though they can look at the bottom and see when the short was put out or the video was put out, still yet, if you put it in the title or anything like that, they go, well, that's old. That's not relevant anymore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you can kill your own perspective, amazing video that could have been like an evergreen by just simply putting a date somewhere. I've done it before.
Yep.
I've done it. Let's just put it that way.
We have videos that are older too, that it's funny when people come up and they keep commenting on it. And I'm like, and they're like, well, you're an idiot. You should do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, okay, thanks. That video is like 1.5 years old. So
yeah.
Okay. But it's funny because people can get really ugly, especially with those ones that, the hay ring ones with our Diddy, with the Longhorn. It gets to be one of those things. And then it's the same comments over and over, which I'm fine with, because every comment is another comment, as long as they're not saying bad words. If you cuss on my channel, if you have, bad words, you're saying things that are inappropriate, I take the comments down. Like, the comments usually just you can be mean to me all you want. You just don't need to cuss. Don't cuss at me. Because if it's not something I would say, then I'm not going to have it on my channel.
Right.
So we'll delete those, but we try to keep those comments that make, they're like, well, why don't you do it this way? You idiot. And I'm like, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Long been gone by now.
Thanks for the view.
Exactly.
Thanks for the comment, because the comments actually, it's engagement.
Yep.
And YouTube loves engagement. It doesn't matter if it's you're stupid.
Yep.
Is the engagement. YouTube still loves engagement. So,
well, and I will say too, the engagement part too, if you are a person that is getting comments on your videos, make sure you respond to those comments. That video that has 8 million views, I have responded to, I would say, probably about 80% of those comments. And I have thousands of comments. And every time I get a new comment at nighttime, I take about 15 minutes and I answer comments, even if they're 6 months old, a year old, whatever it is. I go through some videos and I just do all the video and all the comments on that one video, or I go through and I'll answer whatever just happened to be that day. But if you respond, people really like that. And I want people to hear, I understand that we hear them, we care about them. That's why we're on YouTube.
It really personalizes it, because I can tell you, there's a lot of people who are actually watching your stuff, and it's hard for me to feel this way, but some people are like, how you say it, they're like, okay, you made a video, and when you made this video, they're watching every one of your videos. Let's just put it that way. Say you've got that person who just likes to watch your videos. Yeah. And then if you comment to them personally, they really like that. I mean, really like that. And to me, it's just like talking to people. Just talk. It's just like me talking to you, or me talking to Christine, or me talking. I'm just talking to people. Yeah. And I'm the same way. Like, we all have our guilty pleasure channels that we like to watch, which are, they might be like, one of mine is Andrew Camarada. Okay. He's up in New York. He's building castles out of shipping containers and stuff. So if I comment on one of his videos and he comments back to me, it's just like somebody's commenting to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's because I understand the relationship.
Yep.
I guess you'd say. And so like today at the auction, whenever people were coming up to me and calling me by my first name and I don't know who they are or anything like that, it kind of takes me back, sets me back a little bit, because I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm still I'm in an infancy stage of the public stuff, I guess you call it. And that's the reason why a lot of my videos I have gone to making now. I never talk. Not the auction videos. The auction videos I have to talk, but the video, the what I call my Tuesday, Wednesday videos, my racing videos, my cattle videos and stuff like that, you never hear me talk. I never say anything.
Yeah.
I just do. And because I really don't, I know it sounds stupid, but I really don't like to talk.
What?
Yeah, I'm right here on the live. I'm just yakking away and everything, but I really don't like talking. And I tell you what, whenever my voice went away, I had pneumonia and my voice went away, and I knew I had to put out some videos, and it was recently. And I was telling Christine, I don't know how I'm going to put out videos. I can't talk. So we had found a new channel that we'd started watching, and the guy never talks. And I told her, I said, I can do that. I think I can do that. So I started making videos without talking, and I really enjoy it. I hate to talk.
Well,
So
I like that, it's really cool to show that God makes a way for you to do something that you're passionate about. And he's going to, if that's something that I feel like a lot of times, if that's something God wants you to do and be in, he's going to make that way for you, to show you and to comfort you in that moment, because you were feeling a certain way. And God's like, here, let me show you that you can do this no matter what. And I think that, that's been something that's kind of come up in our YouTube experience too. There's been so many times that I really wanted to do certain things, or I wanted to help people do certain things and show videos. And it's just like, God's like, not time yet right now. Go do other things right now. Do this instead. And, it's interesting, but that's really cool that, God made that way for you, because he will, Oh, the Primitive Technology channel. Yeah. Those channels. My kids watch a lot of YouTube. They love watching the building YouTubes, and they watch those type of YouTubes. They like some of the vloggers that are clean, and they love watching this fishing guy. That's their like main thing. They love this fisher guy and hunting guy, loves fishing and hunting, and they could sit there and watch that all day.
I'm gonna have to highlight this real quick and call BS on that. I've been around you a little bit, Brian.
Well, I think the hardest part for me is editing my own videos, because I do not like to hear my voice. And so I can sit here and talk to somebody because I enjoy speaking to people and having conversations. I'm, a teacher by heart, and like just the mom in me and the teacher in me wants to talk to people, and I enjoy being around people. But I'm also, I do not like to edit my own videos. I do not like to listen to myself. And I have a very hard time sometimes listening to my videos. I will edit it down to I will edit a video that probably should be 10 minutes down to 4.5, because I cut out so much of myself. And Eric's like, why do you do that? And I'm like, I don't like watching it. I don't want to watch me. I could watch him all day. I just can't watch me.
Yep. Eric, if you're anywhere where you can hear this, you're Monica's eye candy.
You know what? I found him 30 years ago in high school, and I will tell you that I have been watching him for 30 years. We just had 28 years of marriage, but 30 years I've been watching that man. No, he's hanging out with my big boys tonight. They're watching the MMA fight tonight. So I have the night just kind of to do me. So, but no, I think I think it's hard sometimes when you don't want to do things. See, look, Miss Ann says I get on my own nerves editing videos. Me too, Miss Ann. I'm just like, no, Monica, why did you say that? Why'd you do that? Don't do that, girl.
Well, I can go on. I can get on I can get on a live and I can talk and I can do all
Mhm.
kinds of stuff like that. And I don't have any problem with it. It's just that whenever I'm doing videos, I really don't like to talk. And I don't, it's to do an instructional video, but do it without talking is, I mean, if you can do that, I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to do something, guys. I hate to do it, but I'm going to throw a channel out there at you. It's called Simon Ford Man. And if you will watch something of Simon and something recent of Simon Ford Man's channel, you will see the exact way to do an instructional video. Now, Jennifer, you don't watch it because it's going to have something to do with cars or something. All right. So, but I'm going to tell you, if you want to see someone who can do an instructional video that is an hour and a half long, and you will know exactly what he is doing, and him never speak a word,
He
and
doesn't
he
talk.
never trains the camera on himself. And I tell you what, that channel, he has figured it out, and he doesn't have that many videos, but man, I tell you what, they are some of the most amazing videos that there are out there. And that's the channel that I found before I got pneumonia.
That's cool.
And I started using that technique on some of my videos, and people haven't, they haven't hated them, so but I'm going to tell you, he has figured out how to do instructional things where you know what he's doing. It doesn't matter. I mean, Christine loves watching them.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I mean, every night she's like, has Simon put out anything new?
That's cool.
And so and it's like I said, it's not her forte because it's cars, but she knows what he's doing.
That's awesome.
And if she can teach, you know, people who don't really do aren't mechanics, if he can teach people like that, then I'm just saying,
Yeah,
it's
that's
it's
awesome.
it,
See,
it is awesome.
I think it's cool to see how people like really bless the whole opportunity that you have to, how God blesses that, how people will come into your life, how God will bless those people to kind of show you where you need to be and help you kind of push you in that way too. Miss Ann says, yeah, my family doesn't watch me either. I guess Palmetto Paratrooper. Yeah. My family doesn't really watch us too much either. I
My
mean, my mom will tune in every now and then. My dad watches sometimes, but
my brother and his wife watch our channel, but I can tell you, as far as our outside of YouTube friends,
mhm.
like friends, people who, got your back and all that stuff and everything, outside the YouTube world, they don't watch it.
Yeah.
They think it's kind of silly.
Yeah. Some people just don't watch YouTube though. And that's the thing. I didn't really watch YouTube too much before. And then my kids started watching. And I said, I think that I need to start watching some of the things you're watching because they wanted to watch it and I wouldn't let them. And they were like, no, mom, it's okay. It's just like fishing or whatever. So I started watching and I was like, okay, YouTube's not too bad. And we had been watching random videos to help us learn how to do farming and do some of the things we wanted to do. And so that's how we kind of got hooked into it. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times people don't watch your stuff and that's okay. But the people that do watch, that's the best part because you're interacting with new people that you might not have met in the, the real world, I guess, the outside of social media world. I could be a billionaire and she still think I was lame. 14. Yeah, 14 is a hard age.
That's right. She'd just be going, can I have your card?
Yeah.
And just
Well,
running off.
My 16 and 15-year-old, they're in some of my videos. I don't put any of my kids in my videos unless they say it's okay. I try not to anyway. My youngest loves to be in the videos and help out and do things. But some of the older kids are like, do I have to be on camera? And I'm like, absolutely not. You don't have to be on camera. And so I try to be respectful of that, but they don't really watch our videos either. They're in the videos sometimes and they literally don't watch our videos. And so we joke that my 23-year-old doesn't even subscribe to the channel. He's like, no, I subscribe sometimes. I think sometimes he just takes away his subscription just to mess with us. But so every now and then, if we're hitting another milestone, he's like, I'm going to unsubscribe so I can be that, next milestone for you. And I'm like, just stop. You don't have to do that. But, kids can be boogers. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah. Our daughter, I don't think she subscribed to our channel. She watches YouTube, but she,
Oh yeah.
It's just the way it is. A lot of people use YouTube, but they use it for if they want to know how to put in the sink, or if they want to know how to, do whatever, and they'll just click on it. It'll show them the point where they want it, that they need to know, and they click off of it until the next time they need to know how to do something around the house.
Yeah.
And that's the way a lot of people use YouTube. That's the way, I think that's the way mainly my daughter uses YouTube, actually.
Yeah.
She just used it to figure out how to fix something in her house or something.
Yeah.
But
it's just easier than reading something. Watching a video to do it is easier than reading an article to do it. And that's the way you used to do, right?
We use it as entertainment.
Yeah.
Me and Christine, we don't watch movies anymore. And we just find a good show on YouTube, and that's what we watch. They don't understand so much BS on YouTube, not sure how to fix it. How to has a lot of videos on it. Yes. Hashtag how to has a lot of videos on it, right?
Yep.
So that's a good hashtag,
is.
How to.
And DIY. DIY is a great hashtag, especially
hashtag, and I use like on my shorts, I use hashtag shorts feed on every one of them.
Yep.
And for our channel, if we have like, if I have car related short, I have a set of hashtags that I use for that, and I have a set of hashtags I have to use for the cattle related stuff.
Yep.
So, and I use basically the same hashtags on either one, for every short that has to do with car or cattle, depending upon what the topic is.
Yeah.
I know what they are. I just put them in and run with it.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Jim. I don't watch regular TV. I just watch replay of Gillen Farm videos.
There you go. Best way to do it.
Good seeing you.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you I'm going to get out of here and let you go tonight, because I have been in here and I need to go chuckle my people. We have church in the morning and it is 9:40, almost 9:40. And I'm sure those boys have not showered or gotten their church clothes ready. And I said, get your church clothes on the washer and get yourselves in the shower. So 2 things that I can venture to say, those 3 littles, probably only 1 or 2 of them have done it. So I'm going to go check on my children and I will say good night. Thank you for letting me come up here and chat with you.
Anytime, Monica.
I hope I didn't chat your ear off too much.
No, we're good. We're good. All right. Good to hear from you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. Now, I was going to say that if anybody else wants to come up, I have to preface this. I have to kind of know you. I do not let folks up that I don't know. And if you've been in my chat enough and you've talked to me at various times throughout, then come on up. Otherwise, if you're brand new and you've never spoken on any of my stuff ever and you end up being up here, no, not going to happen. So I'm going to tell everybody, I know a lot of people have left already, but if you don't already have it, you need to get a program like TubeBuddy or something so that you can actually see. I know there are analytics in your YouTube studio and stuff like that, but with TubeBuddy, you can actually see how like things like your SEO score, things that you cannot see in your YouTube analytics. So that would be something that you might want to get. I have the free version of TubeBuddy. There is a free version you can get. Where or at least there used to be. I don't know if I'm just grandfathered into it now or something. Is that better than Social Blade? I have no idea. I don't know about Social Blade. If Social Blade is telling you your SEO score, if Social Blade is giving you, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna pull up some stuff here real quick for the folks that are still here. There's 30 folks in here right now, so I'm gonna pull up like some examples of things, and I'm gonna share the screen with them here. So let me find something. All right, don't go anywhere. I may look like I'm lost here while I'm doing this, but I'm gonna go over to something, and I'm going to, hopefully I'm still here. I'm going to pull up like examples of stuff, analytic examples. So I put out a video a couple of days ago, and it got, no, I put it out yesterday actually. And I'm going to give you some certain examples of how things can go for your channel, how they can go up or down or sideways or whatever else. Okay, let me pull this one up. This one didn't do all that great. It was one of the best channels. I mean, one of the better videos that I think that I've made, and I really like it. And I'm going to give you what TubeBuddy says about it. Go over to, oh, I got to do it from a different place. Hang on. Bear with me, guys. Go to channel. Try again. Somehow I want to do this without actually clicking on it because I don't want it to start playing. You're going to hear something real quick, and then all right. So I'm killing that, and I'm going to share this screen with you. All right. Is anybody still here? Hang on. Hey, Nana 9 Acres. Hi, Lisa. How are you? I'm all right. Let me share. Let me present this or share it or whatever. Center invite. Share screen. Not that one. Yeah, that one. All right. This is a video I put out yesterday, actually. So I'm going to share this. Go back to my thing. All right. This is a video that I put out yesterday. All right. It has 7,850 views. I hope you guys can see that. It has you see that SEO score over there on the right? That's what I'm always going for. I'm going for a SEO score of 1. So that's where, in the SEO score of 100, there's a lot of hashtags or the actual tags down there. You see all those tags in the bottom right hand. And I know a lot of you are looking at it on a phone. And they're going, wow, that's, it's, but anyway. So this video I put out yesterday, it's got 7,850 some odd views. It's got an SEO score of 100, so it's really searchable. Search engine optimization is really great on this one, but it's actually not one of the better videos. It's okay, but it's not one of the better ones. And I can compare with other videos and stuff like that to get that, show that. But I wanted to show you this is what you see whenever you have TubeBuddy. That all that video analytics that you see over there on the right hand side beside my picture in that is actually what you get, part of what you get with having the TubeBuddy. So it will tell you all that information. It tells you best practices, which is high resolution thumbnail. Let me see if I can just do that. Okay, that's a little better. It's bigger. You can see high resolution thumbnail, comment pinned. I pinned a comment hearted, captions added, end screen added. The only thing I haven't done is info cards, liked it on Facebook, and added chapters to it. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to make, yes, and you need to make tags. You need to have some way of getting your SEO score, your search engine optimization score up. This one has, if you notice also up there, it has a creator suggested of 5 of 20. You know what that means? That means of the next 20 videos that are suggested to that, or are shown to that person, like if they're looking at this on a TV or on a, 5 of those videos are going to be mine. 5 of the next 20 videos are going to be my videos that are suggested to them. Yes, Palmetto Paratrooper, you have to put the tags don't actually go in the description. They actually go, there's a tag. See, all this was done whenever I create in on my iMac. So I create it on a desktop, and there's a place for actual tags. So you put your tags in there, and you fill up the tags. You fill it completely. You make sure that you use every line for your tags. I think there are, I want to say, maybe 500 characters that you can use for tags, and you want to use them all. So that will help tremendously. Okay, so that's the first part. You're trying to get your SEO score up. So I'm going to go back over here. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, there we go. I'm going to get rid of that one. Get that off there. Now I'm going to show you a different thing that you can do with. I'm going to ask you guys, okay. I'm not going to pick anybody, okay? Tell me a channel that you know or like or whatever. Just give me an example of a channel that you want to see how, say, your channel would compare to them, okay, as far as views and things like that. Deep South Homestead. All right, Deep South Homestead. I'm going to throw it up there. All right, Deep South Homestead. Let me go back over here. Let me find a. Okay, go back into this. Back. I'm going to search Deep South Homestead. All right. There they are. I found them, 312,000 subscribers, it looks like. So I'm going to pull their channel up. I'm going to keep it real quick because, all right. All right. And I'm going to show you something else that you can do with this. I'm going to share this. Go back to my deal. All right. I'm going to this is a cool tool right here. All right, this shows how, like what Deep South Homestead does right here. You see that they have a total lifetime of 63.4 million views, 2.96K videos. In the last 30 days, they've had 307,000 views out of 12 videos. All right. So the comparison tool out there, it says compare stats. You can see that over to the right-hand side. You can see a blue line, and then you can see a red line below the blue line. All right. The blue line is actually would be your channel. Whoever is doing this stat, whoever is doing the lookup on this, okay? So I looked up Deep South Homestead, and what TubeBuddy does is it automatically compares my channel to their channel. So my channel's in the blue and their channel's in the red. And that shows the difference in the views between our channels. I think their channel had it had 307,000 views, and the Gillum Farms channel had 600 and what was that, 28? I can't really see it. 600 something thousand views. Okay, so that's how you can use the compare stat, so you can see how your channel is doing as compared to someone else's channel. So that's another one of the stats that you can use, or one of the things that you can use to see how you're doing. So it might be one of those things that you might want to get for your channel, so you can see how your channel is doing. Anyway, is this helpful whatsoever? Let me know if it's helpful or not. I used to watch them all the time, but I haven't had time to watch them in a while, says Lori. Yeah, it's comparing channels. It's what you use Social Blade for. So the Social Blade compares channels as well. Guy Fallon says that's a lot of work, my friend. Yeah, there's a lot of work involved with YouTube. Well, I download the app, so I'd say so. So you think that is helpful, Lori? All right, I appreciate it. But anyway, that's just a couple of things that you can do with TubeBuddy. It can actually show you how you compare with other channels. It can show you how you can how you can get your SEO score up, search engine optimization. And I'm going to tell you right now, one of the biggest things for me is going back through all my old videos and actually finding the videos that do the best. Finding the video, I mean, what type of videos do the best for my channel? And then after I find the video that does the absolute best for my channel, then I actually start seeing if I can create content along those lines and keep that moving upward. Keep it going. And I think the biggest thing was consistency, making sure I stayed consistent. And once I was consistent, then I could, I have a certain download day every week. I put out something every week on this day at this specific time. My folks who watch my channel, they know that at 3:00 on Friday, there's going to be an auction video. I mean, it's just like the sun's going to rise that morning. There's going to be Gillum Farms going to put out an auction video on that day at that time. And I think that's pretty important. So that just might be something you might want to think about, is if you can be consistent with your stuff. The reason why I put videos out at 3:00 on Friday is because starting on the East Coast, and most of my folks, I mean, I don't have a lot of foreign viewers. Okay. I'm just going to tell you, I don't have a lot of them. Most of my folks, they're across the country. They're in the, lower 48, and some in Canada and some in, in Alaska and stuff. So at 3:00, what's happening over on the East Coast? People are getting off work, because over there it's 5:00. So people are getting off work and they're getting to where they can actually watch your stuff. So as the time goes through the evening and stuff like that, all the way over to Alaska time, people are able to watch your video, especially if you put out videos like I put out, which tend to be longer videos. So it is a time when somebody can actually watch it. If you put your videos out in the morning, a lot of people are going to have to sit there on that and go, when I get off work, I will watch that. So they're going to sit on it. That means that you're not going to get that immediate jump of views. And what you want is you want an immediate bounce of views, I guess you'd call it. You want a lot of views in your first hour. So YouTube, once they see that, they go, wow, all right, there we go. You know, people are wanting to watch this, and then they start the recommendations. Okay. So put out things when people can actually watch them. Most of my viewers are online. That's when I post. I understand that, Palmetto Paratrooper. You know what? I tried that. Guess what? Didn't work. I used that algorithm, and I can tell you what I'm doing is the proof is in the pudding, because what I'm doing now really works. This works because I've got the same analytic that tells me when most of my folks are on. If I put out a video when everybody, they want me to put out all my videos at 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. That is when YouTube says the most amount of my folks are available or watch my stuff or something like that. The problem is Monday follows Sunday. And then I lose a full week before the next weekend before somebody can actually has time, because a lot of people through the week, they got sports with their kids. They got all kinds of things going on after work. They got, they just come home, they got dinner, they got this, they got that. And then they end up with, wait a minute, we'll try to watch it next weekend. What that does for my algorithm is it actually puts it to where I don't have any views for quite a while. Then YouTube doesn't push it. And I understand what you're talking about. And yes, I get a ton of views on Sunday afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, I'll get a ton of views. But my video's already been getting a bunch of views Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon. So yeah. So that's the reason why I put things out the way I do. And you're right. Consistency is how I can follow your channel. Guy Fallon says he followed, and he knows when I'm going to put stuff out. He looks forward to it, and that's what you're looking for. You are looking for consistency. People know when it's going to come out. They know, that you're going to put one out. Guy probably knows that I'm going to put out. He knows that I'm going to put out an auction video at 3 o'clock on Friday, no matter what. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes I put out an auction video. Sometimes I'm going to put out something else. It might have something to do with my GTO, might have something to do with the cattle or something like that. I sent you your Social Blade screenshot pages. Cool. You have Social Blade, I guess, Brian? Let me look at that. That's pretty cool. I like that. I may have to get that. Is that an app, Brian? Post something daily. That's why shorts are good. I'm going to try to get a long video out once a week in addition. There you go, Palmetto. I'm going to tell you something about shorts. I'm going to tell you what I have learned for me. If I put out a short and it's doing really good, it's a .com. Okay, cool. I will try that. So if I put out a short and it's doing really good and it's rolling, I mean rolling, like it's got, say I got 50, 60, 70, 100,000 views on it, something like that, and it's still rolling the next day, I won't put out a short. I won't put out a short until that short dies. I used to put out a short every day. Actually called a lot of them the Daily Danny, because a lot of them had Danny the Bull or Bull in them and stuff like that. But if you have I wasn't about to post another short the next day while it was going. There you go. All right. So if you got one rolling, that's for everybody else then. All right. Since you've learned that already. If you have a short that's rolling, don't put out another short, because wait till that short starts flatlining. Wait till it starts flatlining. And once it starts flatlining, then you can start putting out another short. But don't put out one before, because what happens is, believe it or not, you can kill a short with your next short. Happens. I had one short that it was a long time before I put out another short, because it went to 2.6 million views, and it went, and that was over a while. So I didn't put out any shorts because that one was still climbing so good. You'll kneecap the video that's doing good. That's right. I have an old iPhone that takes beautiful videos. I love it, but I have a desktop computer, not a Mac, so it's a pain in the neck downloading footage. These screw ranch, Kim. Okay. Yeah, I can see your issue there. What do you use, Kim, to actually do your editing on? Do you do it on your phone, or do you actually do it on a desktop? I have a good camera on an Android and a desktop I built myself. Yep. Hey, Stanley family, how are you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. And it's 10 o'clock, and I'm still on here. I've been on here for 3 hours. But I was just going through some of this stuff, and Caden Live is the free editor I use. Okay, KDEN Live. All right. I use iMovie for everything. I use iMovie, and I edit actually. Well, what I'm doing this live on right now, it's actually on an iMac, and I edit on this same iMac that I'm using. I have edited on my iPhone before. I put out things straight from my iPhone before and stuff like that. But mostly I use GoPros for my filming, and it's just a lot easier for me to download that information into my iMac and then go to iMovie from there and start moving it from there. So, but anyway, I hope if you folks have come in late on this, you might want to go, if you want to, there's some tips and tricks and things that we've come up with about YouTube and how it works, and what's the, what works for me and what, might work for you. I know some people have used some of the stuff that I've done. I've had people actually on my panel in the past, not tonight, but on my panel in the past, who came in. They watched one of my videos, and then they came in one of my how-to videos, and they came in a week later whenever I did another one and told me that how it worked for them, how things work for them. So I just want to make sure that, you go back and look at some of the old stuff. There's some of the other ones. I've done a few. I think this is like the 4th video I've done in this series. This one shows a little bit about how to go and look at the analytics of through TubeBuddy and stuff like that. But it's just, it's just info, and I'm just trying to help out where I can. And everybody else, if you have information that I don't, I've learned quite a bit on this one tonight. I love it. I love learning stuff. Well, guys, I'm going to get off here. It is 10:03. I've got to go to church in the morning. Palmetto Paratrooper, that is awesome. Still getting 120 views now on that one short over 4 days later. There you go. That is awesome. And I'm glad it's working out for you and everything. Just remember that. And, whenever it comes time to put out that next short, just remember what you did on that one. Consistency, learn what works for your channel, and if you find something that actually works for your channel, stick to it like glue, and then be consistent. Always be consistent. Don't be all over the place on when you're going to post stuff. Find you a time. It doesn't matter that four of the big channels post all their stuff at the same time you do. It doesn't matter. Still post your stuff there. And it's not like a live. It's not like there's nobody going to be on your live because there's a big channel over here that's got a live going on. Post your stuff at a time when you think people will watch it. I start with the East Coast. I start with when I think they're going to watch it over there, then I move across the country. It works for me. All right. Hey, Wendy. Want to drop in and say, hey, I have to work on apricots, so I will listen. Man, Wendy, you have... I'm getting off, Wendy, but you can watch some of the replay. I know it's 3 hours long. I wish I should have sent it out to you earlier and stuff like that, because you're one of the people I always think about whenever I'm thinking about doing these tutorials and stuff. So anyway, guys, I'm going to hop off here. And it was great talking to you tonight. Thanks for coming. And if there's enough interest, maybe we'll do it again in 2 weeks. So I will talk to y'all later. Thanks for being here, guy. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Out of here. Bye, guys.